here at San Diego and raising a little cloud of sand. And there's another wave. Now he's surfing in. And here he is, none other than our old partner, Mitch Holthus.
It was permafrost. I came in here on the call of the wild with my dog. Now, listen, guys. Yesterday, -5 wind chill in the teens, and you guys were out here on the beach.
No, we got here at 6 o'clock last
okay.
night.
I thought you were out at Coronado Island.
What kind of stuff are you talking about? You're trying to cause problems all over America, aren't you?
I petitioned that Iowa State move its November football games to San Diego. That petition has passed 7-0 unanimously. So,
well, tell me why we have 2 games in Kansas City the latter part of December.
Good question. Anyway, the weather here is beautiful, folks. How's the weather here, Griggs?
Oh, the weather outside's delightful. It certainly isn't frightful, like it was for you, partner.
One of the great cities in the world here, San Diego, California, and Len Dawson for the Chiefs, a chance to take another notch forward, and they're going to do it against a team that last year had a Chiefs kind of season, and this year they're finding out what the other side of this is like.
And San Diego, as I said before, has nothing to lose. 4-5 offensively, defensively. They can throw anything they want at Kansas City, and I expect them to do that today, particularly early on. That's why I say for Kansas City, they need to put that fire out early. Get after these people from the get-go. Kansas City is going to be kicking off, so the Chargers receiving, so Kansas City's defense will find out what Mr. Stan Humphries and the Chargers offense have in store for them this afternoon.
Again, they're going to be without Natron Means, and I think the Chargers may do it by committee. Terrell Fletcher, we'll see him, the rookie out of Wisconsin. A kid named Aaron Hayden, a rookie out of Tennessee. And then a guy named Rodney Culver hasn't played in 7 games. So people ask how they're going to replace Means, I think with several different guys.
Well, let's face it, the last time they played, Means was not a factor. They only had 51 yards rushing against Kansas City in Kansas City, the game that Kansas City won in overtime. So Natron Means was not a factor. I think they averaged 1.6 yards per rushing attempt. So I would look for San Diego and say, hey, you know, we haven't been able to run against these people. Natron isn't here, so let's come out throwing right from the get-go.
Kansas City dressed in their road white uniforms. They've had a couple road games this year where they've worn red because the home team has preferred to wear white. Cleveland comes to mind.
Well, they could really do themselves a big favor with a win today because the Raiders won.
They did,
so
and they had to fight to win.
They got to keep pace with the Raiders.
Back deep for the Chargers is one of the great return men now in the National Football League, Andre Coleman out of Kansas State, who last year had a kickoff return for a touchdown in the Super Bowl. Coleman's at the 15-20, and the Chiefs cut him down at the 24-yard line. Pretty good coverage by the Chiefs on the elusive Coleman, a 23-yard return by the second-year man out of K-State, Greg Minuski and Darren Anderson, there for the Kansas City Chiefs. We talked about special teams play last week with Mitchell. It's the same way today.
It's 2 weeks in a row. They had good practice last week against Mitchell, and you notice he was complaining after the game, saying, these guys were not fair. They didn't kick me the ball, or I could return it. And I was going to say, well, Mr. Mitchell, that was the whole object.
Darren Mickle is active for today's game, although Von Booker starts at right defensive end. Dan Salimua, Joe Phillips, Neil Smith. First down play, Ronnie Harmon. On a draw, he's up to the 26-yard line, and then gang tackle as the Chiefs dogpile him at the 27 after a gain of 4 yards. Now the other starters for the Chiefs at linebacker, Tracy Simeon, who's played very well the last couple of weeks at middle linebacker. Derek Thomas, of course, at outside linebacker, along with George Jamison. Dale Carter, Brian Washington, Mark Collins, James Hasty in the Chiefs' 3-deep secondary. For the Chargers, it is 2nd down and 6. The football for the Bolts at their own 24-yard line. Ronnie Harmon is the lone setback. Back there for the injured Natron Means. Stan Humphries, quick slant left. Tony Martin, 35. He's up to the 42-yard line. And it's a first down for the San Diego Chargers.
There is that passing game. I was saying quick passes. That was a quick slant in. Took less than 2 seconds to get the ball and get it out to the wide receiver. Look for that. Also look for Ronnie Harmon coming out of the backfield, throwing the ball to him. So they know the rush of the Chiefs is good, particularly with Neil Smith and Derek Thomas when they're in there. So they're going to get rid of that ball quickly.
Alfred Papunu is the H-back. A tight end lined up in the backfield as a fullback. Ronnie Harmon is the tailback. Harmon gets the call. He's going nowhere. A burst off left guard, and he gets no gain. Dan Salimua, native of San Diego, there to clog it up for the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'll tell you, the Salimua clan is here in full force. They took up about a third of the parking lot out here when we arrived this morning for this football game. He is a key. He and Joe Phillips are a key. They got to get some pressure up the middle and get in Stan Humphrey's face. Not necessarily sack him, but at least get some hands in his face.
The San Diego offensive line this year, Len, has been poor. They have had a hard time protecting Stan Humphreys. He's been sacked 14 times. In motion is Jefferson. Off play action. Humphreys to throw, and the Chiefs sack him back at the 35-yard line. A loss of 8 yards on the play. Von Booker came through and gets the sack for the Chiefs.
And he got around that offensive tackle, Harry Swain. Last week I watched Harry Swain against the Dolphins, and Marco Coleman ate his lunch. He is going to get a lot of business today. I think the thing was that Humphreys was looking at the other side because number 58, Derek Thomas, was zeroing in on him on the other side.
Well, if he was zeroing in on him last time, he's in on him this time. As Derek Thomas standing in a three-point stance on the right side. 6 defensive backs for the Chiefs. Done a deep drop this time, Humphreys. On 3rd down and 16, throwing long, and the pass is overthrown. Looking for Sean Jefferson. Over the middle of the field, coverage by James Hasty of Kansas City. And now the San Diego Chargers have to punt for the first time this afternoon.
Credit Derek Thomas with that, because Derek did not get to the quarterback, but he took Harry Swain in a bull rush. Just took him and just marched him right back into the face of Stan Humphreys. Stan Humphreys had to get rid of the ball a little sooner than he wanted to. If he'd have been able to hold it just a fraction of a second longer, that would have been a touchdown.
Well, we've seen this before. An Australian Football League guy, Darren Bennett, punting to Tamarik Vanover. Chiefs fans will remember the great return on Monday night to win the game. Vanover at the 15, 20, 25, and he explodes up to the 29-yard line. About a 14-yard return. 53-yard punt, hang time. 4.31 seconds. Timeout on the field, no score. Chiefs readying for their first drive of the game. Now this on the Kansas City Chiefs Fox Football Radio Network.
Day in and day out, at home or on the road, you can always count on the great taste of Bud Light. Bud Light, it won't fill you up and never lets you down. So make it a Bud Light.
Mitch Holthus back in balmy San Diego. Temperatures in the middle 60s for this one. Overcast skies as the Chiefs and Chargers going after it. Kimball Anders and Marcus Allen split behind Steve Bono on first down from his own 30-yard line. Bono to throw on first down. O'Neal coming on the rush. It's a screen pass left to Anders, stretching to the near side, trying to get away from pursuit, and gains maybe a yard to the 31-yard line. Chris Mims covered the screen for San Diego, and Leslie O'Neal was coming hard after Steve Bono.
And what they're doing, the screen pass on Leslie O'Neal's side. Leslie O'Neal has had good games against John Alt in the past, and that is a message. They're trying to slow that rush down, but Kansas City they do not do a very good job of screens. They haven't done a good job on screens for the last several years.
Ricky Sigler getting the start today at right tackle. The rest of the offensive line the same, and it's been the first 9 games of the year. Shields at right guard, Grunhart the center, Zott the left guard, John Alt the left tackle blocking O'Neal. Swing pass right side thrown low by Steve Bono at the ankles of Kimball Anders. He couldn't hang on to it. It's 3rd down and 9.
Well, that's a bad throw. I mean, he's only throwing that ball 10 yards max. And you got to get the ball up around the numbers so that the back not only can catch it, make an easy catch, but can do something once he makes that reception. So there's 2 plays in a row, a screen pass and a little pass out in the flat. Neither one of them worked.
6 defensive backs, Eric Castle in the game, along with Rodney Harrison for the Chargers. Kimball Anders, the lone setback. 3 wide receivers for the Chiefs. Tight end left is Cash, who stays in the block this time. Bono rolling right, throwing to the far sideline. Willie Davis can't haul it in. He was well covered on the far boundary by Willie Clark of the Chargers, and the Chiefs are 3 and out.
And 3 bad plays. I don't understand that, because had he caught the ball, he was still short of the first down. 3rd down and 9 yards to go. You go more than 9 yards. You go 12 yards down there before you make your cut to the sideline. So if you make the catch, you already have the first down.
Louis Aguiar, who at one time was the National Football League's leading punter this year, has dipped to 3rd now in the league standings, a 45-yard average. And back deep is Andre Coleman, the best punt returner right now in the National Football League statistically. He had a touchdown earlier this year against Philadelphia of 88 yards. Trying to kick to the boundary is Aguiar. Short kick, wobbly kick taken by Coleman. Gets a block, trying to stutter step. Jukes left and gets piled up at the 31-yard line. Hang time just 3.22 seconds. 40-yard punt, but just a 1-yard return. Good coverage by the Chiefs punt cover people. In
Bring front bucks before deals like these move right on by.
Strength, durability, dependability. All qualities you look for in a football player. Mannington Vinyl Floor Dealers remind you it's those qualities you should look for in floor covering too. Get the look that lasts. Get Mannington.
Beautiful Jack Murphy Stadium, the scene of this game. The Chargers last year had a magical year going to the Super Bowl before being wiped out by the 49ers. But so far this year, the Chargers have had a tough time. Stan Humphries to throw on first down from his own 32-yard line. Whizzes one over the middle and throws it through the hands of the intended receiver. Tony Martin incomplete. Both teams offensively trying to get something going here. They're both kind of off sync a little bit.
Really, that ball should have been caught. Once again, you're only throwing the ball 10 yards. I can't emphasize this enough. You're at this level. You're supposed to make that pass, and you're supposed to be able to catch the thing. Both teams are sputtering here early on.
Stan Humphries, though, capable at any time. Thrown for almost 1,900 yards this year. 10 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Split backs, 3 wide receivers for the Chargers. Harmon and Fletcher in the backfield.
Checking off.
Chiefs have 6 defensive backs. Martin Bayless out there is the 6th DB. Humphries throwing far side, and the pass is knocked away by Mark Collins. Excellent defense and a little short hook by Sean Jefferson. It's 3rd and 10 for San Diego.
See, we're up here saying he's checking off at the line of scrimmage. If we know this, so does the defense for Kansas City, and they generally know what they're checking off to. So generally a short pattern, either a quick slant in or maybe a quick out type of pattern. And that time, Collins played it very well.
Chiefs on 3rd and 10.
That ball is hot out there, Mitch. Nobody seems to be able to catch it.
Hot potato, hot potato. 3 wide receivers, 5 DBs for Kansas City. Humphries, quick slant. Martin can't hang on to the ball.
Nice play by James Hasty. He was able to get his arm in there and bat that ball away. It looked like he was going to be able to catch it, but here it is. 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. So the defense, we knew this was going to be a defensive battle, because generally this game is determined by a field goal or less.
Chiefs played the slant much better that time. They were burned earlier. What was the difference that time by Hasty?
Hasty was right. He was playing that pattern, and he got that left hand in there and batted the ball away just as the receiver was trying to catch it.
Is that one of the toughest patterns?
That and the crossing pattern. We've seen the crossing pattern really hurt the Chiefs this year.
On to punt, Bennett once again for San Diego. An interesting story. Australian rules football player. Kicked in the World League. His only experience in American football prior to this year. Off the side of his foot is this punt. It'll be taken by Vanover. Outside the numbers left on the fly. 35-yard line, 40. Forced out of bounds on the near sideline at the 41-yard line. Chased out by Dwayne Gordon. 35-yard punt. 6 yards on the return. Hang time a minuscule 3.8 seconds. Timeout on the field. No score, Chiefs and Chargers. You're listening to Chiefs football. Mitch Holthus back with Len Dawson, Jack Murphy Stadium, San Diego. So far, Len, it's been a punting festival.
And Kansas City field position-wise, this is great field position for them. They just need to move the football.
Poor punt by Bennett, giving the Chiefs a nice return by Vanover. Chiefs go to 3 wide receivers on first down. San Diego native Marcus Allen on first down, trying the left side, and he can only gain a yard. Clogged up by Reuben Davis and Junior Seau for the Chargers.
Well, Junior Seau, I think you're going to be mentioning his name a lot this afternoon, because when you talk about the running game, if you don't account for Junior Seau, he's going to disrupt everything. He's an outstanding linebacker. What they try to do is those defensive tackles want to keep the offensive lineman off of Junior Seau, and because of his quickness, he can roam up and down that line of scrimmage and make the tackle.
Played almost 4.5 minutes. There's already been 3 punts. Chiefs have 2nd and 8. Football for Steve Bono to zone 43. Toss play near side. Here goes Allen with a hole across the 50. He's up to the Charger 47-yard line. Great lead blocking. Dave Zott out in front of the play. John Alt. And the Chiefs rip off a gain and a first down. Bo Orlando, Dwayne Harper tackle Marcus Allen after a gain of 11.
They went to Leslie O'Neal's side. Bear in mind, he is a strong outside rusher. And they went inside of him. They did 2 things. They pitched out to Marcus Allen, and they went on a quick count. And I think that caught that defense of San Diego kind of napping out there.
And Marcus didn't take long to hit the hole again. First down and 10 for the Chiefs at the 47 of the Chargers. This time they play action fake. They throw to the right side for Lake Dawson. On a deep or a shallow post pattern, the pass is incomplete. It was covered very well on the far side by Terrence Shaw, a rookie cornerback.
That's another bad throw by Bono. Also, Lake Dawson should delay that a little bit, because Bono was doing a little play-action faking. So it's going to take him time to make that fake, get turned around, get ready to throw. Lake Dawson made his move a little too quickly, and therefore the ball was thrown behind him.
We have seen Steve Bono be hot and cold this year.
He gets in streaks, that's for sure.
One back in the formation behind the right tackle, Criswell. They run the trap play. It's Marcus Allen. Comes back to the center of the field, can only gain a yard. From the Charger 47 to the Charger 46-yard line. Good push up front by Chris Mims of the Chargers to allow Junior Seau to make the tackle.
Junior Seau, you mentioned that name again. And you'll mention it all afternoon because when you're running inside the tackles, that's the guy that's going to be around that football. Great quickness. That's his strength is his quickness. He weighs about 250 pounds and runs a 40-yard dash probably in about 4.5 seconds. That's fast.
He leads the team in tackles, 65 tackles, 4 consecutive Pro Bowls. In motion near side is Willie Davis. 3 wide receivers set. Bono sets up in the pocket quickly. Fires to an open receiver at the 30-yard line. And making the catch at the Charger 30 for the Kansas City Chiefs. Jumping up is Webster Slaughter for the Chiefs. Webster Slaughter with his 15th catch of the year, and that time Bono on the mark for 18 yards.
You're talking about Bono can get into streaks. A couple of passes went awry, not very good throws, but credit the offensive line with great protection that time, affording the opportunity for the receiver to get down and make a move on a defensive back and curl to the inside, and Bono was right on the money with a good throw.
8:51 left to go, first quarter, no score, but the Chiefs are driving. They're in business now. 1st and 10 at the Charger 30-yard line. Marcus Allen, the lone setback. Double tight ends, 2 receivers. Davis in motion coming to the near side. They're going to give it to Tamarick Vanover on the reverse. To the right side, needs a block, and moves upfield on the right sideline. Got 1 block. A Charger missed a tackle, and Vanover's upfield for a gain of about 8 yards to the 22-yard line. Dennis Gibson eventually made the tackle, got the athleticism of Tamarick Vanover, and a great block by Will Shields.
I'll tell you, the linebacker had the angle on him. That was Lewis Bush, the outside linebacker, and still couldn't catch him because he turned on the speed and got around the corner. That is great. They ran a screen pass. That'll slow down the rush. They run that reverse, and that'll slow down the rush and keep those guys at home.
They also say there's a halfback pass in the weaponry this week with Marcus back there. Allen's the lone setback. 3 receivers left for the Chiefs. One of those is Cash in a wing left, moves in motion right. Hand up the middle of Marcus Allen. Gets outside, cuts a tackler, 15-yard line, 10. Slides inside a couple Chargers and down to the 5-yard line. Marcus Allen again is 17 yards. Sean Gale saved a Marcus Allen touchdown.
Can he still run or what? What is he, 35 years old? He certainly doesn't act like a 35-year-old running back. Great running ability, being able to see the people down in front of him, making the right cuts to get down to the 6-yard line. Terrific run.
He's running like a pledge at USC. 17 yards on the carry. 4 carries now for Allen, 31 yards. First down goal to go for the Chiefs at the Chargers' 6-yard line. Steve Bono takes the snap, gives it up to Marcus Allen. Trap play inside. He's fighting for yardage, clawing down to the 2-yard line.
You see him get the extra 2 or 3 yards when he was hit by the linebacker. That was Lewis Bush was the linebacker, the guy that I said couldn't catch up to Vanover. He made the tackle there on Marcus Allen, but Marcus got hit at the line of scrimmage, but still ended up on the 2-yard line, so he picked up about 4 yards.
Marcus Allen and the offensive line has done a better job in this series.
Do you see any penetration by the defense? No. No, you don't.
Second down, goal to go at the 2-yard line out of the I formation. Tight set for the Chiefs, double tight ends. Cash is the wing, moving back and forth. They play action fake to Marcus Allen. Rolling right is Bono. He's going to tuck the football. Sprints to the far side. Touchdown, Steve Bono. His 4th rushing touchdown this season. And the Chiefs are on top 6-0.
He had a man out in the flat, but he was covered on the play. And the good block at the outside. The defensive end was trying to get a hold of him, but he wasn't able to do it. That was Chris Mims. Bono showing a little bit of speed, jumping to the outside. Junior Seau was fooled by the fake because he was the guy chasing him late.
You know, people kid about Bono's speed. They were laughing about his 76-yard run at the Phoenix and against the Arizona Cardinals. But he has good 10-yard speed, doesn't he?
That's all you need. That's all you need.
And Lynn Elliott will try the point after. The kick is up. Flag is down. Hang on. And now a fight breaks out in the middle of the placement try. Will Shields involved in there. Couple Chargers in the fracas.
Well, a defensive lineman just before the ball was snapped just ran over the center.
That would be Danny V on the placement.
He still got the snap off.
This is all happening with 6:51 left to go in the first quarter and a nifty drive here by the Kansas City Chiefs.
It's a pretty good tactic, really, Mitch, because you'll get the attention of that snapper, for the rest of the afternoon, knowing that some crazy person over there might just unload on you before you snap the ball.
Let's wait to see what the ruling is going to be here.
Well, there's only 5 flags down, so evidently they caught it. Now, what's the big decision?
Well, there are 7 officials and 5 flags down. Now, what 2 guys didn't throw their flag?
I guess the referee is back of the quarterback, or back of the kicker.
The Chiefs, Louis Aguirre stays on the field. Of course, he's the holder. Lynn Elliott runs over to the sideline to talk to Marty Schottenheimer.
Probably determining whether the thing is good or not.
Now the Chiefs may pick up a break here. This may be enforced on the ensuing kickoff.
I would think so.
The Chiefs lead 6-0. They're talking it over to Louis Aguiar and Lynn Elliott. Danny Villa over there swinging his arms around. He's got to get ready for this guy. Bob Gretz, they went after Villa, but he got the snap off.
Yeah, he did. But Marty's down here. He wants the guy thrown out of the game because he went after him. It's on the unsportsmanlike conduct call. Marty's down here screaming at the official. He wants him out of the game. Of course, that's not going to happen, but Marty's giving the headlinesman here an earful on that subject. And the headlinesman now taking the message to Gordon McCarter. You know, with this crew here, we just got to be happy they can count the 11 guys on the field.
Is this the same group?
Because this is the crew that screwed up the Pittsburgh game
we'll take
with
pictures,
Minnesota.
Bob. We'll take pictures. And we'll give it to you, and you go stuff it in his pocket.
Yeah, they find me a week's check. It won't be much.
Wait a minute. I see Bill Cower. He's coming through the tunnel. He's got a whole pile of photos with him. The kick is up by Elliott, and the kick is good. 6:51 remains in the first quarter of the score. The Kansas City Chiefs 7, the San Diego Chargers nothing. Now this on the Kansas City Chiefs Fox Football Radio Network.
Chiefs fans, here's more big
Biggest running air injection chainsaw in the world invites you to contact your nearest Husqvarna dealer by calling 1-800-HUSKY-62. That's 1-800-HUSKY-62. Call today.
Mitch Holthus back with Len Dawson, Bill Grigsby, Bob Gretz, Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. Two good things here for the Chiefs. One, a great touchdown drive of 59 yards, and now they're going to kick it off from the 45-yard line after the penalty on San Diego.
And looking at that last drive, Marcus Allen, 5 carries, 35 yards. Off to a good start.
Chiefs offensive line also nice as the kick is deep. Andre Coleman watches it sail over his head. It'll come out to the 20-yard line, and the Chiefs will pick up some field position on the penalty on San Diego on the placement try. Here is a shocker.
Wait a minute.
Here is a shocker. Bill Grigsby has just sent this in from the Western Union Telegraph. Look at this score, Len Dawson.
San Francisco 17, Dallas zip.
I think so.
6 minutes to go in the first quarter. Must have been the defense must have scored for the 49ers.
And let me guess, Elvis isn't playing in that game. Stephen Young is back, I believe. Well, right here, Marcus Allen's back. So are the Chiefs. They lead 7-0 over the Chargers. The Chargers have now trailed in 22 straight games, and here's a handoff to the fullback, Rodney Colburn. He's all the way up to his own 36-yard line with a gain of 16 yards on first down. Colburn has not played in 7 games. He's been inactive, and he's in for the injured Natron Means and picks up 16 yards on first down.
It looked like he came out of the stands because nobody touched him until he was at least 10 yards down the field. The linebackers were nowhere to be found. Boy, they can't afford to let San Diego get any type of running game going because the play-action passing would be deadly.
Mark Collins saved. Possible touchdown. Here he goes again. This is the unknown Rodney Culver, fourth-year man out of Notre Dame. They picked him up from Indianapolis, and on a sweep play left, picks up 7 yards on first down.
And there is no indecision on his part. Boy, he hit that hole in a hurry. Linebackers chasing after him. Tracy Simeon was not able to catch up before the guy picked up 7 yards. So there's 2 runs right there, 16 yards and 7 yards. The Kansas City defense got to put the clamps on that.
Strangely looked like Natron Means on those 2 plays. 2nd down and 3 for the Chargers, and Rodney Culver has not played in 2 months, so he's got fresh legs. An ankle injury's bothered him. They play action fake to him this time. Humphrey sets up, has time, gunning it long for Jefferson down the near sideline. Pass is overthrown and incomplete. Dale Carter was with Sean Jefferson step for step. Let's quickly pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Kansas City Chiefs Fox Football Radio Network.
Kansas City's home for classic rock and roll of the 70s and your voice of the Chiefs. 101 KCFX, the Fox.
Back here in San Diego, I remember a play like that that burned the Chiefs.
See, that's what I'm talking about. The running game gets going, then the play action faked it. It didn't work that time, but it was very close.
The Jefferson and Humphreys combination beat Kansas City and Arrowhead last year, 14-13. Deep corner route. Harmon pulls it in on the far sideline from Humphreys out of bounds at the 26-yard line of Kansas City. Burning Mark Collins. 25-yard gain, first down, San Diego.
And what a throw by Stan Humphreys. I said at the top of this broadcast, Stan Humphreys is the key. You got to get in his face. Now, if you're in his face, he can't make that type of throw. That was a perfectly thrown ball, got over Mark Collins' head right into Ronnie Harmon's arm. So there's the big play capability of the San Diego Chargers.
5:11 left to go first quarter. The Chiefs just scored on a 59-yard drive. They lead the Chargers 7-0, but San Diego right back in the Chiefs' face. 1st and 10 for the Bolts at the 26 of Kansas City. This time a quick slant, fired to Mark Say, complete down to the Chiefs' 17-yard line. Gain of 9 on first down. Carter made the tackle.
There it is. The quick throw, less than 2 seconds to get rid of that football. A little quick slant in pattern, man-to-man coverage out there. The linebacker's the only one that can help by getting his hands up, but they chopped down the defensive lineman. Neil Smith was over on that side, so there was a clear lane for Humphrey to throw the ball.
How much was this set up by those 2 early runs by Rodney Culver?
Absolutely. I feel you can't afford to let them get their running game going.
Alfred Papuna, the H-back, lined up in the backfield behind the left tackle. Humphreys has a tight end to the right side. They're going to fake the counter. Humphreys rolling out to the left side, holding. Now firing to a wide open tight end inside the 5-yard line. Now a fumble by Dwayne Young. A fumble picked up by the Chiefs. Dwayne Young had the ball. He was hit. The Chargers are saying that he was down, a gain of 12. The Chiefs are saying they recovered a fumble. The Chargers are saying he was down.
And
Dwayne
the
Young
officials
made the
are
catch.
getting together for a conference.
Let's go down to Bob Gratz. He was right there watching the play.
Mitch, I don't know. I don't understand why there's a conference on this thing. I don't understand why these guys cannot simply make a decision. There's no question. Collins hit him. The ball came out. Mark Collins reached back in and scooped it in. There is no decision to be made here. Looking at the replay right now, He's up in the air. The ball comes out.
Fumble on San Diego, recovered by Kansas City. However, we have not had Gordon McCarter's signal officially that it's Kansas City's football. If there was the old instant replay to review, it would not be a hard decision.
They'd be out there with the offensive Kansas City taking the football.
This is all happening with 4 minutes and 13 seconds remaining in the first quarter of play. The Chiefs leading the Chargers 7-0. Neil Smith still pointing his big right arm, saying Kansas City should have the ball.
If there's one category where Kansas City excels, it's that category, the giveaway, takeaway category. They're plus 10. I think that San Diego is minus 9.
Yeah, the only team worse in the National Football League this year at giving up the football is Seattle. They're dead last, 30th in the league. San Diego is 29th, and it is just killing Bobby Ross, the Chargers coach.
The play is not a fumble. It is down.
Oh! That's a homer call there, pal.
Giant break for the San Diego Chargers.
The whistle blew.
Oh, the whistle blew. One of the old whistle blew routine. How could the whistle blow when the guy's getting tackled?
Well, you heard Bob Gretz's report. We have seen the replay, and it is very accurate. And there are times the Chiefs get called, but this time the Chargers got a giant call.
I didn't hear the whistle. Did you?
Didn't hear the whistle, no.
Oh, man. They go back to that all the time when they blow a call, say the whistle blew.
Tell you what, you can make an omelet on Marty Schottenheimer's forehead right now.
Oh, man.
He is going to be biting the goalpost here before long. First down and goal to go for the Chargers. They've had trouble in the red zone this year. They've got it first and goal to go at the 4-yard line. Shannon Mitchell, the H-back, counter play, gives it off to Culver, lowers his shoulder, gets down to the 2-yard line just inside the right hash mark. Neil Smith tackled Culver and saved the touchdown. A gain of 2, second down, goal to go for San Diego.
And Kansas City's got their short yardage defense in there. Pella McDaniel is in. Also, Rogers is in the ball game because he does an outstanding job down there by the goal line. Getting the big guys in there, anticipating the run of the Chargers.
3:38 left to go in the first quarter. The Chiefs 7, the Chargers nothing. Second down, goal to go at the 2-yard line. In motion, Alfred Papuna to the near side. Lead play, Culver right up the gut. Touchdown, San Diego. And for Rodney Culver, his first touchdown of the season. Great blocking up the middle. Courtney Hall, the center, and Isaac Davis, the right guard for San Diego, allowed Rodney Culver to find the end zone.
You mentioned Courtney Hall, one of the finest centers in the National Football League, an outstanding blocker. They had 6 defensive linemen down there for Kansas City in a 3-point stance trying to get bulk out there, but they were able to cut back over the middle and virtually go in untouched. The big play was the one the officials blew. Should have been Kansas City's ball.
Marty Schottenheimer trying to appeal to a higher court. Anyway, the Chargers take advantage of the break in not losing the fumble and have a chance to tie the game now. John Carney, one of the game's best, the AFC All-Pro kicker last year, gets the kick up and through, and the game's tied 7-7. 3:27 left to go first quarter. Let's remain here as the Chargers move right down the field on the Chiefs after the Chiefs scored first.
I think the concern should be the way that the Chargers came back offensively after not doing anything prior to that last drive, able to get the running game going. 23 yards and 2 runs by the young running back Culver, and that sets everything up. They threw a long pass. It wasn't completed, but then they came back with a pass to Ronnie Harmon, a terrific throw by Stan Humphries. So Kansas City's going to have to go back to the drawing board. They got hosed on the call, but they got to forget about that. The good news is that Kansas City, the last time they had the ball, they had it in good field position. They were able to get in there and get a touchdown. And it quieted the crowd, too. Do you notice that? But now, all of a sudden, they're back into it.
Again, Dwayne Young caught a pass. The Charger tight end was hit by Mark Collins, stripped the ball loose. Collins recovered the fumble. However, the officiating crew, Gordon McCarter's officiating crew, ruled that the whistle had blown. The play did. And the play stood. And the Chargers had first and goal to go at the 4-yard line instead of the Chiefs having yet another turnover.
I want to know, Mitch, how the whistle blew, because when he dropped the ball, he was still airborne. Do you blow the whistle then? I don't think so.
Bill Cowher is an old friend of Marty Schottenheimer's, because he was on the staff of Kansas City. Of course, fans will remember. Cowher's so endeared to this officiating crew, he may indeed show up here after that one. Short kick taken by Vanover. Look out here. He's at the 20. Has a wall. 25-30. He is up to the 35-yard line. Tamarik Vanover, a nice kickoff return of 21 yards on a short kick by John Carney. And the Chiefs will have first and 10 at their own 35 with a 7-7 tie at 3:18 left to go first quarter. David Brandon made the kickoff team tackle for San Diego.
And once again, good field position for Kansas City. The last time they had the ball, I think they started on their 41-yard line. Now they're on their 35-yard line. So they were able to move the ball the last time thanks to the running ability of Marcus Allen. And Marcus is still in the game.
He's back by himself. Kimball Anders is in the game, but he lines up in a slot position to the left side, comes in motion right. Wham play, they call it up the middle, and Marcus has room. He's up to the 41-yard line, gains 6 yards on first down, and the offensive line playing much better now than they did the first series.
And there's some seams up there for Marcus Allen, and of course he hits the hole in a hurry, and I said before, has such great vision as to what's happening in front of him. Was able to pick up, about 5 yards on first down. That is all you can really ask for.
In Marcus Allen's Hall of Fame career, he has more yards against the San Diego Chargers than any other team that he's played against. Allen stays in the backfield. Leroy Thompson now goes in motion, lines up as a split end on the left side. 2 receivers right and a tight end that way. In motion, Danon Hughes on 2nd down and 4. Bono retreats into the pocket, looks downfield, finds a delay pattern to Derek Walker, the tight end. He's got it for a first down at his own 46-yard line. The 19th catch of the year for Walker, and the Chiefs move the chains.
And there's that tight end just slipping down the field, looking for the open area. And there's a lot of them out there because of the zone defense that San Diego is playing. That means that there isn't a specific linebacker on that tight end or a specific defensive back on the tight end. So if he can get down there and find those open holes down there, quarterback should be able to get him the ball.
Gain of 5. Dennis Gibson made the tackle for the Chargers. 9th-year man out of Iowa State. Anders lines up in an offset I fullback position. The tailback is Marcus Allen. Marcus Allen explodes up the left side across the 50 and down to the Charger 47-yard line. A gain of 8 yards on first down. Junior Seau made the tackle. That's just old-fashioned. Hit the hole between the guard and tackle.
I'm telling you, I'm looking at David Zott out there. He had his man, Reuben Davis, on the ground. He was on top of him. You're talking about there's no penetration by that Charger defense. Not only no penetration, but they're getting flattened out there by the offensive line of the Kansas City Chiefs.
You're saying it was a pancake block?
A pancake. There's no mystery, I said, about being able to run with the football. If the big guys up front move the big guys on defense, you'll gain yards. Marcus Allen, 7 carries, 49 yards.
Allen came into the game with a 4.3-yard average, 465 yards on the season on 2nd down and 4. Marcus trying again a play behind Dave Zott's blocking, also John Alt. And it's near a first down as he stretches forward to the Charger 44-yard line. Sean Gale, the old Chicago Bear, picked up by San Diego in the offseason, registers the tackle.
That time they had the blitz from the linebacker, but it was on a quick count, so maybe Bono could not check out of that particular play. But it was a solid play, an off-tackle play where he had the fullback kicking out that linebacker anyway. So it's going to be a 3rd and short, the first 3rd and short in the ball game for either team.
Meaning Joe Valerio coming in.
Jumping Joe Valerio.
As an extra blocker. He lines up as a tight end on the left side, wearing number 73, an eligible number, unless he declares himself eligible, which he has. In motion, Cash right. Play action fake. Bono rolling to the left side. It's the old Phoenix play. Coming to the near side. Bono is forced out by Bo Orlando at the 40-yard line for a first down, but a flag was thrown.
and it's in the middle of all that pile out there. Generally, that indicates holding.
On a 3rd and 1, the Chiefs are going to hold here.
Yeah, the last time they did that was against Arizona. They went to the right side. This time they went to the left side.
Holding on Kansas City. They didn't announce the number. Marty Schottenheimer is up, set, with the linesman on the far side.
Holding. Number 61, offense. 10 yards. Repeat, 3rd down.
You know, the sad thing about that is that play wasn't going up the middle. That's Grunhart, right? So he could have just not blocked anybody out there, and this play still would have worked because it was a fake with the bootleg out to the left side.
Marty Schottenheimer's incensed. He didn't think that Grunhart held. He's not mad at Tim Grunhart as much as he's mad with the officiating crew, and I think it goes back to the fumble that wasn't called. Anyway, the Chiefs now go to 4 receivers, as in motion right is Walker, lining up flexed away from the center of the line. Now Bono, play action fake, drops the ball, and recovers it as Junior Seau sacks him at the 42-yard line. How giant was the holding call?
Absolutely. You go from a 3rd and a half a yard to a 3rd and 10 and a half yards, and the defensive linemen, they don't worry about the run, do they? No, they just tee off and go after that quarterback. That's why, you know, the 3rd and short plays are what you're looking for, because the defense has to at least honor both the run and the pass.
Looked like the ball slipped out of the hands of Steve Bono, but he held on to the ball, still was sacked by Seau. That's the end of the first quarter. The score, the Chiefs and Chargers deadlocked at 7. You're listening to the Chiefs get a run from Steve Bono of 2 yards. Rodney Colbert, 2-yard run for the Chargers. Now the Chiefs have to punt the football on 4th down and 14 at their own 42.
And they don't want to give a line drive kick to this guy Coleman, because he'll run it right back in your face.
He set 2 Super Bowl records last year on returns. High snap, back to Aguiar, hauls it down and gets the kick away. Again, kicking to the far boundary, try to prevent a return. Coleman fumbles the ball, and it rolls out of bounds, and now a flag was thrown. Hang time, 3.84 seconds, but the Chiefs avert disaster. It was almost a snap over Louis Aguiar's head.
That was a terrific kick by Louis Aguiar. You notice he kicked it right over by the sidelines, so there's only one way that Coleman could have returned it. That's that right side over there.
44-yard punt, nothing on the return. Coleman, you remember, had a long return to set up a San Diego score in the Monday night game in Kansas City. But Andre also fumbled a kick against the Chiefs, allowing the Chiefs to pick up field position in that Monday night game.
So I assume that they're going backwards. It had to be against the Chargers. They got to get even for some of those calls they've made on the Chiefs.
The linesman saying...
Illegal block in the back. Number 40, receiving team. Half the distance. 1st down.
Penalty called on Mark Montroy, a rookie for the Chargers, for an illegal block, and now San Diego is backed up. 1st and 10 at its own 7-yard line, and Bobby Ross probably shaking his head saying, wait a minute.
They were backed up the last time. They went 80 yards for a touchdown. Field position, that battle is being won by Kansas City.
Bobby Ross doesn't want any makeup calls here. 8 seconds into the second quarter. 7-7 tie, San Diego. 1st down deep in its own territory. Papuno in motion. Sweep play, right side, Ronnie Harmon. He is wrapped up and taken down by Dan Saliamua after a gain of maybe a yard.
Might say that Mickle is in the game right now. He has missed a couple of games because of injuries, but he's at his familiar defensive right end position. Once again, that penetration by Saliamua. He is really having a superb season.
Nichols missed the last several games with the injury. Keith Traylor, who's played well as a backup, is now at tackle for the Chiefs, resting Joe Phillips. Saliamua, the other tackle. Neil Smith, the left defensive end. 2nd down and 9 for the Chargers from their own 7. Long count by Humphries. Back to his own goal line, in trouble, being chased, throws late. A holding call maybe on the Chargers here in the end zone. If it is, it may be a safety for Kansas City. Let's see where Humphries, he was throwing the football from his own end zone, and a flag was thrown as the Chiefs were chasing Humphrey a yard deep in the end zone. Mark Collins and Darren Mickle, I'm sure, arguing here for a safety.
It depends on where the hold took place. If it was in the end zone, yes, it's 2 points, but if it was on, the flag is on about what, the 5?
Yeah, they're going to say it was, the holding call would be outside the end zone.
But what do? Do you take the penalty? Because you're only going to get half the distance.
Half the distance. Or make it 3rd down.
That's what Mark Collins is over conferring with Marty Schottenheimer, and I think Marty's saying refuse it.
That thing was dangerously close to being a safety.
Number 68, offense. Penalty declined.
Joe Cacuzo called for the penalty. He was holding Dan Saliamua with a great bull rush. Humphries was in his own end zone. He had retreated a step back into the end zone, and there were blockers in the end zone That was close to being a safety.
Big play coming up because if they have to punt out of their end zone, it's going to be great field position for Kansas City.
Third down for the Chargers. 3rd and 9. Fumble on the center to quarterback exchange. The ball's loose. It looks like Humphreys covered it up in time.
But on the 5-yard line, meaning that they're going to have to kick out of the end zone. We got a fight going on once again down there on the field. And needless to say that Neil Smith is involved.
You know, these two teams kind of got into this in the Monday night game in Kansas City, you remember.
Yeah, there's some things been
carryover
in the newspaper, too, that's being said by both sides and not very complimentary.
Bob, no love lost here between these two teams. What are you seeing on the field?
Well, I could tell you what got that started, and incredibly enough, it was coming from Joe Phillips, Mr. Mild-Mannered, but he had Humphreys down and just kind of gave him just a little bit of extra oomph, and then somebody didn't like that, and then, of course, all the pushing and shoving started. But when even Joe Phillips is getting mad.
Yes. Oh, this is a meaningful game.
Darren Bennett to punt from 10 yards deep in his own end zone. And boots the ball. The Australian kicks a deep one, taken by Vanover at the 37-yard line. Angling the left side. He's at the 50-yard line. Gets a nice block up the left sideline, 40. And is forced out of bounds at the 39-yard line. Not going to say he's out at the 36 of San Diego. A deep punt isn't necessarily a bonus when Tamarick Vanover's return.
Is he exciting or what? Yes.
57-yard punt, 22-yard return by Tamarick Vanover. 13:41 left to go first half. Game tied 7-7. Now this on the Chiefs Fox foot halfback for the Chiefs. Bono fakes a handoff to him, throws near side to Lake Dawson. Low throw, handled by Dawson at the 30. Trying to break Charger tackles. Eventually forced out of bounds by Dwayne Harper at the 30. It's a gain of 6.
You know, we talk about field position, how important it is, and Kansas City's winning this battle. For example, 4 times the Chargers have the ball on their 24, on their 32, on their 20, and on their 7. For Kansas City, they started drives on their 30, their 41, their 35, and this one on their own 36-yard line.
And also thank Mr. Vanover for a lot of that. Split in right side is Dawson. Flanker to the far side is Hughes. Lead play goes to Greg Hill on 2nd down and 4, and he gains a couple from the Charger 30 up to the 28-yard line. Dennis Gibson and Lewis Bush waiting for him for San Diego.
Marcus Allen coming back in the ball game on this looks like a 3rd and short situation.
Maybe 3rd and a yard, so give Hill 3-yard pickup.
See, they've already run that fake. They were holding on the play, but with Bono carrying it. So I would look for him to give the ball to Marcus on this play.
Split backs. Actually, the fullback right behind Steve Bono. The halfback right is Marcus Allen. Bono's going to throw on 3rd down and 1. Fires to Anders. He's hit immediately. A flag thrown on the play is a loss. Back to the 30-yard line. A loss of 3. Dennis Gibson, the hero of last year's AFC Championship game for San Diego, was a big-time hit on Kimball Andrews.
Holding Kansas City. Now the Chargers will have to make a decision. Whether they take the play or not, it'll be a 4th down situation, but also might be a field goal situation for Kansas City.
It's also in that no-man's land area for Marty Schottenheimer.
I think he'll go for it if they refuse the penalty. No, here's Elliott's coming out on the field.
Lynn Elliott has 12 of 15 this year on field goals. He's got a 49-yarder.
Holding, 79 offense, penalty declined, 4th down.
Look at David Zott pleading his case with the official down there.
Well, both sides are kind of angry with this officiating crew. As Lynn Elliott will try a field goal here. Elliott had a 49-yarder earlier against the Chargers on Monday night. This will be a 47-yard try. Aguiar with the hold down. Elliott's kick is up high, spinning, deep kick. It's good. The Chiefs have the lead by 3 on the 13th field goal of the season by Lynn Elliott. 10-7 Chiefs. Now this on the Chiefs Fox Football Radio Network.
Go ahead. Make a wish.
Kansas City has enjoyed great field position, and the last time that they kicked off, they had excellent coverage on the kickoff team. They're going to have to do it again because we mentioned before that K-Stater back there can fly.
Got some jets on his shoes. 12-13 left to go in the first half. 10-7. Not as big as Vanover, but they got the same kind of speed. Squib kick. One of the up men, Terrell Fletcher, takes it at the 15, at the 20, trying to get outside. The Wisconsin rookie angling to the near sideline and is finally tomahawked out of bounds. And now a flag has been thrown late. Darren Anderson, Anthony Davis, Tony Richardson were all chasing Terrell Fletcher. A kickoff return of 9, but this may be a penalty on Kansas City.
Yeah, I think that it's going to go against Davis, who hit the ball carrier in the back once he was out of bounds. When you see the white stripe and he gets out of there, you can't hit him. You can't touch him.
Personal foul on Kansas City and an injured Kansas City player. Might be Doug Terry. Can't quite see his number yet.
I think it is 4-2-4.
Doug Terry, the native of Liberal, Kansas.
Number 44 on the kicking team. 15 yards, first down.
Oh, that's a killer. Talk about field
15
position.
yards, yes. They got a break with the kick that it was being bobbled back there, and that was on Anderson, number 44. Just can't do it. I mean, the official's standing right there watching. He has to throw the flag if he hits somebody when they get over that white stripe.
Doug Terry has been bothered by knee injuries throughout his great career. Great college career for the Kansas Jayhawks. He was a walk-on there. Kind of Dan Humphrey. Sweep play near side. Culver at the 35 gets one lead block, forced out at the 38-yard line after a gain of just 2. Let's quickly pause. 10 seconds for the purpose of station identification. This is the Kansas City Chiefs Fox Football Radio Network.
101 KCFX, Harrisonville, Kansas City. Your radio home of the Chiefs and classic rock and roll of the 70s.
Mitch Holthus, Len Dawson back in San Diego. Chiefs string out the play nicely.
And that's showing the speed of Derek Thomas, being able to run that running back down and knock him out of bounds.
3 wide receivers for the Chargers. Single back, simple toss near side to Fletcher.
I give you the details.
And Fletcher goes down at the 39-yard line. And again, Kansas City pursues the ball and holds the rookie to just a gain of 1.
Martin Bayless did a terrific job of coming up, forcing that ball carrier back to the inside. Once again, the great speed of Derek Thomas. He was rushing to the inside, was able to turn around, spin around, get back out there and make the tackle.
And once again, the run support of Martin Bayless out of the Chiefs' 6 defensive back set. Let's go to Bob Gretz.
Mitch, they're looking at Doug Terry's head. He took a blow to the back of the head. They're calling it head trauma. No projection of whether he'll return or not.
3rd down and 7 for San Diego. Ronnie Harmon, the lone setback, swinging out in the left flat. Humphreys, however, will look upfield and hits Mark Say short of a first down at the 44-yard line. Hit immediately by Anthony Davis, who's had a great season for the Chiefs in its 4-6 defense. Gain of 5, but not enough for a Charger first down.
Now, you explain to me why he didn't take it a couple of yards deeper. So when he made the catch, he already had the first. That's for the life of me, I don't understand those things.
I've learned there's about 5 or 6 things that drive you nuts, and that's one of them.
Wow, yes. And, you know, that's something that you can control as a receiver.
Darren Bennett to punt. The Australians punted 3 times in this game, has a 50-yard average. His longest was 57 yards, but it came back 22 yards by Tamarik Vanover. Kind of battled a little bit of a shoulder injury. Was hurt late in the game last week, Vanover. This is another high, deep punt. Vanover calls for a fair catch. Takes it at the 10. And a big hit. Andre Coleman and Dale Carter are mixed up on the near sideline. Hang time, beautiful. 4.95 seconds. 46-yard punt that was fair caught by Vanover at the 10. But now let's see what the flag will be as Carter and Coleman were locked up on the near sideline.
You know, I was talking about field position and how great Kansas City had it so far in this football game. The last time they had the ball, they had it on the 36-yard line of the San Diego Chargers. This time, depending on this penalty.
Holding, number 34, receiving team.
Oh, man. On a fair catch.
The kick, half the distance, first down.
On a fair catch, of course, Dale Carter doesn't have any idea that they're going to fair catch the ball, but now they're backed up inside their 5-yard line.
There's a break in the action. If you need a break, fly southwest. In beautiful San Diego, Jack Murphy Stadium. Another gorgeous day here in Southern California. The Chiefs lead the Chargers 10-7, but the Chiefs have 1st and 10 at their own 5. 10-10 left to go in the second quarter. Handoff Marcus Allen. He's tackled for a loss. Back at the 3. Great push by the Chargers. Sean Lee.
I was talking about no penetration by the defensive line of the Chargers. Well, they had 3 guys that got penetration that time, got into the backfield. Here is an area down here that you can ill afford to make any mental errors on that offensive line.
Again, a holding by Dale Carter, and Andre Coleman has given the Chiefs poor field position. I mean, very poor. About as poor as they can get. 2nd and 12. Football at the 3 for Steve Bono. Play action fake. Throws from his own end zone. Throwing long for Willie Davis. Near sideline. Pass overthrown. It's incomplete. Dwayne Harper was with him step for step.
He was just looking for that home run. He wasn't there, so he just threw the ball where no one could catch it except those San Diego Chargers standing on the sideline down there. Here's a big 3rd down play coming up for Kansas City.
Leslie O'Neal, Junior Seau, and others will be all over. Now the sound, which is such a factor in Arrowhead Stadium, affects the Chiefs huddling in the end zone.
And you can't have a pass play that takes time. You got to get rid of it in less than 3 seconds because you can't ask your offensive lineman to hold that long.
Single back for the Chiefs. Lined up behind the left tackle, John Alt. There is movement by Sean Lee to throw. Free play, Kansas City. Pass overthrown, nearly intercepted. On the far side by Terrence Shaw. However, this may be offside on the Chargers. And it was a free play that appeared for Kansas City. Sean Lee jumping into the neutral zone and having...
delay of game.
Oh, before that penalty, it was delay of game on Kansas City.
Wow.
Still third down.
That's lucky that ball was not intercepted. Of course, it was no play at all because delay of the game means that that's it.
But it also appeared the ball was allowed to be snapped.
Where was the whistle on that play?
Get that air horn I want. The Mitch and Lynn air horn we're going to try to get in the National Football League. 9:26 left to go in the first half. It's 10-7, Kansas City. But the Chiefs have third.
The game clock, 9 minutes, 30 seconds. 9:30 on the game clock.
Chiefs have third and 13 from their own 2-yard line. Mims, Sean Lee, Reuben Davis, Leslie O'Neal on the front line for the Chargers. Junior Seau patrols the middle as the lone linebacker. 6 defensive backs out there for the Chargers. Steve Bono, third down in a bunch from his own 2. In motion, Webster slotted to the far side. Bono takes the snap, throws from 8 yards deep in his own end zone, throws late, finds Kimball Anders open at the 10-yard line, puts on a juke move, trying to stretch forward. He is up to the 14-yard line. Sean Gale made the tackle. Where will this ball be spotted? It could be a Kansas City first down.
That would be large, very large. You see Bono's feet moving a little bit back there because he knew that he was back there about 3 seconds, and he knew he had to get rid of that football.
Chiefs are short of a first down by about a yard. Kimball Anders kind of stopped to try to make a move, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. But the good thing about this is giving your punter a little more room. He's not backed up at the end of that end zone.
A gain of about 12 and a half, and the Chiefs needed 13. Kimball Anders probably ill-advised that time to try to put on a juke move. If he sticks his head up in there, might get the first down. Louis Aguirre to punt, standing on the end zone line. Danny Pia, the long snapper. Coleman licking his chops, waiting this punt at his own 44-yard line. Good snap, right at the belt of Aguirre. Poor line drive punt. It bounces. Gets by Coleman on the far side. Now Coleman messes around with the football and fumbles it out of bounds. 2.93 hang time, and he kicked to the boundary by Aguirre. 47-yard punt, but they don't want anything to do with Coleman in the center of the field.
You know, a lousy kick really turned out to be an excellent one because there was no return on it. And Coleman made the mistake of letting that ball hit the ground. He should have flew up there and made the catch on the run. So this is the best field position, I do believe, for the San Diego Chargers in the first half, getting started on about the 38-yard line.
First and 10 for San Diego. Leaving the game, tight end Dwayne Young. Alfred Papunu, who sometimes lines up as an H-back, lines up now on the line of scrimmage on a 3-point stance as a tight end left. Fletcher in motion to the near side, no backs for Humphreys. Throws a pattern looking for Papunu on an out pattern to the near side. The pass goes by him incomplete. Tracy Simeon was there defensively.
Tracy Simeon was there in the area, but that was an option pass for the tight end Papunu. He could turn to the outside or turn to the inside depending which linebacker picked him up, and he did the right thing. He turned to the outside and looked like he should have had the ball.
We'll check Stan Humphreys' numbers here very shortly. Humphreys has not had near the year he had last year. 10 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 58% completion ratio. Terrell Fletcher, the lone setback. He's going to get it on the lead draw. Coming to the outside, he's at the 40-yard line. Moves strongly up to the 44 and picks up 6 yards on second down, rather. And how about the numbers on Stan Humphreys?
5 of 12, 73 yards. He's been sacked twice for 10 yards. And that was a good hit by William White, who was in the game. Boy, finally somebody put a shoulder pad to somebody, hit him, and drilled him backward.
On the draw play, there was a penalty flag thrown, and it may be on the Chargers. The far side linesman threw the penalty flag. He's had Marty biting on his ear ever since.
One eligible receiver covering
All right.
You could hear a little chatter in the background. Danny Israel with our great microphones on the field. You could hear some chatter.
This is like golf. You know, every call makes somebody happy. Of course, makes somebody unhappy as well.
I was talking about Papunu lining up as a tight end. I don't think he got lined up.
Illegal formation. Offense. 5 yards. Repeat, second down.
Well, they might have had too many men lined up. 8 men on the line of scrimmage instead of the required 7 because the far side linesman threw the penalty. So a wide receiver makes a mistake. Second down and 15. For the Chargers, football at their own 33-yard line. 8:02 left to go first half. 10-7 Kansas City. Stan Humphries, 8th-year veteran, under the center. Courtney Hall retreats into the pocket. 7-step drop. Looking to the near side. Deep corner route. And the pass is broken up on the near sideline by James Hasty as the pass was intended for Tony Martin.
Did you notice Hasty didn't turn around and look until the receiver did? The receiver looked and got the attention of the ball, and he knew that the ball was in the area, and he turned around just in time to knock the ball out of bounds. Good play by James Hasty.
You know, there was an article this week talking about cornerbacks learning to be weapons. They think Dion now, they think they're a weapon out there, a cornerback, trying to be offensive instead of defensive.
Well, I'll tell you what Kansas City will do. Their receivers will make them play every down because if they're not running a pattern, they're out there blocking them.
In motion, Sean Jefferson back to throw is Humphries. He's being rushed. He is going to be eluding the sack and now goes down and is eventually sacked at the 27-yard line. Neil Smith, his 7th sack of the season. Joe Phillips was also back there blowing up the play.
And so was Derek Thomas. So they had the heat on Humphries from 3 different directions. So that now is the 3rd sack on Humphries. That one lost 6 yards, so they've lost 16 yards on sacks so far in the first half.
Humphries also got his foot caught in his own player, Von Parker, who was trying to block. And how about the field position switch?
Yes.
Just a couple minutes ago, the Chiefs were at their own 2, and now all of a sudden, the punt by Aguiar and the good defense has given the Chiefs some breathing room.
Yes.
7:23 left to go in the first half. The kick away by Darren Bennett. Short kick to the center of the field, taken by Vanover, 35, sprints to the 40, and finally is tackled hard. Nailed on the punt team coverage by Rodney Harrison. But it's a return of 11 yards after a 45-yard punt by Darren Bennett. The Chiefs have 1st and 10 with good field position at their own 45.
You were talking about somebody dancing a little bit ago. Vanover doesn't know anything about dancing. Boy, he gets that ball, and he was flying up there. That guy didn't make the tackle. It was going to be another foot race, and that big old tall Australian punter was going to have to try to run him down.
He tried to do it in Monday Night Football, and a poor attempt at trying to tackle.
Look at the field position once again, 45-yard line.
Tamarick Vanover's gone to the Marcus Allen School of Straight-Ahead Running and graduated with honors. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Sigler in at right tackle. Hand off to Greg Hill, picking a hole up the gut. Moves down to the Charger 45-yard line, gain of 10 on first down. Sean Gale, the strong safety there for the Chargers, but Greg Hill with a nice look.
And did you notice number 84 down the field? Just what I'm talking about, those receiver. Willie Davis was down there blocking on a defensive back. They do as good a job, the receiving corps for Kansas City, as good a job as anybody in the National Football League of getting after people in that secondary. That's why the defensive backs are always swinging at the receivers because they're not accustomed to guys blocking.
They bring out the change and measure. Chiefs have a first down as the lead measuring stick splits the middle of the football.
The defensive back, they don't necessarily want to tackle. They just want to defend against the pass, a lot of them. And what the Chiefs do, they make them play every down.
We'll also check the Chiefs' rushing yards here. You know, the Chiefs lead the AFC in rushing the football. 3rd in the National Football League. 6:52 left to go first half, 10-7 Kansas City. 1st and 10 for the Chiefs, driving at the Chargers 44. Right slot Slaughter moves in motion behind the left tackle Alt. And a off-tackle play goes to Hill. He's got room at the 40, and his ankle tackled, his legs taken out from under him at the 39-yard line, but it's still a gain of 5 yards, tackled by Bo Orlando.
So that's 90 yards rushing for the Chiefs here in just the first half, and we've got 6:35 remaining.
Injured player for Kansas City. Writhing in pain at the 45-yard line.
Yes.
Bob Gretz has it.
It's Ricky Sigler. He's down, and he looks like he's grabbing his left elbow, left arm, shoulder area. He went down the play. Good block by him as Hill strung that thing to the outside. Good block by the wide receiver over on that side.
Time anyway. So Criswell just comes in and plays right tackle. 9th-year veteran out of Graceland College in southern Iowa. Greg Hill and Kimball Anders, the offset eye. Toss sweep left side to Greg Hill. This time he's cut down for a loss. Back at the 39-yard line of San Diego.
Good penetration by the cornerback on that play. John Alt getting up slowly and kind of hobbling back to the huddle, but that's not unusual. He's had a lot of problems with his back and his knee.
Your old buddy Leslie O'Neal that time was there for the Chargers.
Well, this is a good football team. You know, you don't get to the Super Bowl and not be a good football team.
3rd down and 5 for the Chiefs at the 39 of San Diego. 5 defensive backs for the Chargers. 1 lone setback for the Chiefs. It's Campbell Anders. Bono to throw. Flag thrown. It's illegal procedure on Anders. The pass to the near side. Diving catch made by Willie Davis. Yet untouched. Now he is touched. Has a first down at the 33, but I don't think it's going to stand.
Be against Kansas City.
Legal shift on Campbell Anders, who was trying to keep his balance, but lost his balance right before the snap.
He was looking out there to his right, and he saw number 55 in a 3-point stance, 55 being Junior Seau, which means that he's coming.
Set back in the backfield, number 38, 5 yards.
Chiefs have had some tough penalties here in this game, some penalties that have hurt them.
That's the one area that you can control. You can control penalties. You might get blocked or, you know, might get beaten on a pass pattern, but you can control the penalties.
Again, Oakland today beating New York, the Giants, 17-13 after trailing in the 4th quarter, 13-10. And the Chiefs trying to stay ahead of the hated Raiders. 3rd down and 10 at the 44 after the penalty of San Diego. The throw near side on a deep hook rack caught by Danon Hughes. He's near a first down, tackled the 36-yard line. A gain of 8 and 2 yards short of a first down.
Now, why wasn't the whistle blown then? They waited till all those people got in there and jumped on top of one another before they eventually blew the whistle. Yet when they go back to that fumble, they say they blew the whistle while the guy was still in the air getting tackled.
If you join us late, a very controversial call disallowing a San Diego fumble actually led to a Charger touchdown, the only Charger touchdown of the game, and late in the 1st quarter. Gain of 8. Chiefs are going to go for it. Len Dawson on 4th and 2 at the Charger 36.
Yeah, they're in that no man's land down there. Too far for a field goal and don't want to punt it.
4:34 left to go in the first half. Bono, quick pass near side, hauling it in. Lake Dawson, he's got a first down as he's wrapped out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Sean Gale made the tackle for San Diego, but not until it's a gain of 5 yards and a first down for Kansas City.
I tell you, that young man, Lake Dawson, a lot of times on 3rd down situations, that's who they go to because he has sure hands, and once he makes the catch, he's so strong, he can break tackles. They have been phenomenal on 4th down this year. I can't believe the Giant game. They went for it 5 times on 4th down, made all 5 of them.
4th and 2 converted. Pass to Lake Dawson. Chiefs lead 10-7. 4:11 left to go in the half. Bono on first down wants to gun it long. He's throwing for the end zone. The pass is incomplete, broken up by Bo Orlando a yard deep in the end zone. He wants offensive pass interference.
That was a good play by Webster Slaughter. He saw he was going to catch the ball. He went from offense to defense in a hurry because he became the defender to bat that ball away so it was not intercepted.
A big 4th down pass gives the Chiefs 2nd down and 10 at the 30 of San Diego after the long incompletion thrown to Webster Slaughter and well covered.
That ball looked like it got away from Steve Bono because that was not a very well thrown ball.
In the backfield, Marcus Allen for the Chiefs, all by himself. 3 receivers, bunch to the left side. One of those, Walker, comes in motion near side. Marcus Allen with the call up the middle. He's got nowhere to go. Nothing but navy blue shirts and lightning bolt helmets. Waiting for him, Sean Lee. Tackles him for no gain.
That's a couple of big plays by Sean Lee, getting great penetration. He did it down by the Kansas City goal line when he was able to bat there and drop Marcus Allen for a loss.
Jeff Criswell still in at right tackle. Bob Gretz will tell you why.
Ricky Siglar, they're working on his left shoulder. That little stinger, lost some strength there. Questionable return. He's up and walking around here on the sidelines trying to shake it off. But Ricky Siglar, it's the left shoulder.
10-7 Chiefs, 3:30 left to go first half. 3rd and 10 for the Chiefs at the Chargers 31-yard line. Bono to throw the football, gripping the ball in the right hand, wants to set up the screen. It's batted down by Chris Mims. Chris Mims bats down the intended screen, and the Chiefs have 4th down and 10 at the Chargers 31.
There's a screen pass. They opened the game with the screen pass. It gained 1 yard. That one, they're lucky it wasn't intercepted. Thompson was the guy supposed to get the screen. He never ever turned around to face the quarterback.
The Chargers were upfield in a hurry in the face of Bono. Now, this will be a 49-yard field goal try by Lynn Elliott, who just kicked a 47-yarder earlier this quarter. This would tie the longest kick for Lynn Elliott as a Kansas City Chief. His career high, 53 yards when he was a Dallas Cowboy. 49-yard try by Elliott. Swings the right leg through. A high spinning kick that is up, and it is good just inside the left upright in the crossbar. I mean, that thing made it by inches. and 3 points for Kansas City. 13-7. The Chiefs lead the Chargers. And now for an NFL update, let's go to just plain Bill Grigsby.
Good, I get to be on the broadcast here. This is an NFL update brought to you by who? Price Chopper. Price Chopper, Leonard. Every meal on the Chiefs training table comes from Price Chopper. So shop Price Chopper and bring the same quality food home to your family. That's Price Chopper. Here's scores of other games. The Raiders held on to defeat the New Orleans 17, the Colts 14, Buffalo 23, Atlanta 17. These are all finals. Detroit 27, Tampa 24. And San Francisco is leading the Cowboys 24-7 in the second period. Minnesota 10, Arizona 3 in the second period. And here, Kansas City 6. They're not 16, they're 13-7 over the Chargers. And that's your NFL update from Price Chopper.
You guys have been around the league a long time. Have you ever seen anything as wacky as this league this year?
No, it's crazy, but I love it since we're out in front.
Okay. Andre Coleman takes the kick up to the 28-yard line. Here are the Saints. What were they, 0-6 at one point? Again, there's a little bit of pushing and shoving. The Saints were horrible. Now all of a sudden they're on a roll. They're 4-6. Well, they won 4 in a row, I think, something like that, 3 or 4. Anyway, and here are the San Francisco 49ers. They've been dismal, and they're just blasting Dallas at Dallas today.
Yeah, nobody gave. I didn't give them a chance against Dallas there, with all the injuries they've had.
Well, the Chiefs lead 13-7 here against the Chargers. 3:06 left to go first half. 1st and 10 for San Diego at its own 28-yard line. The drive for Kansas City, 8 plays, 35 yards. They're going to give Louis Aguiar a 48-yard field goal by Lynn Elliott, however, and a screen pass right side to Rodney Culver. He's got blockers in front of him and is bashed, but he gets up to the 37-yard line after a gain of 9 yards on a wide screen right on first down.
Now, there is a screen pass that worked, and the reason it did, because it took longer for it to develop. It gave the linebackers and defensive backs an opportunity to get back in coverage, and then you throw underneath with a couple of big offensive linemen in front of the ball carrier.
Joe Kokozo on the lead block for the Chargers. Rodney Culver, the lone setback. 2nd down and 1 for San Diego. They're going to give it off to Culver up the middle, and he is nailed by Tracy Simeon, and he's near a first down. Good hit by Simeon, but it still may be enough for a first down. It was 2nd and short.
So we're nearing the 2-minute warning. We got 2:15 remaining here in the first half. Timeouts, I think both teams have their complement of 3 timeouts each.
And now the clock will be stopped. They're at the 2-minute warning with the Chiefs leading the Chargers 13-7. Now hear this on the Chiefs Fox Football Radio Network. Quarterbacks.
Not a passing game. Humphreys 6 of 14, 81 yards. He's been sacked 3 times. Bono 8 of 15 for just 56 yards.
Chiefs 6 defensive backs. Martin Bayless back there. Ronnie Harmon leaking out of the backfield. Catches the pass over the middle. He's up the 45-yard line. Down to the 39 of Kansas City. Mark Collins made the tackle, but Ronnie Harmon leaking out of the backfield.
Why, he's considered one of the best third down players in the National Football League because of his ability to find that open area down there in the zone.
Ronnie Harmon, a gain of 22 yards. And for Harmon, his 35th reception this year. Timeout called by San Diego. Let's remain here. 1:52 left to go in the half. 13-7 Chiefs.
A lot of time for the Chargers and Stan Humphreys, and he did this an awful lot last year, coming from behind at the end of the first half or at the end of the game to put points on the board.
Marty Schottenheimer called him one of the toughest characters in the NFL this week.
He is. He is a tough cookie. I recall we had a dislocated elbow, played with that, strapped it up, with a chain or something so he couldn't lift his left arm, and went out and played and got hit. And it happened against Kansas City. Kansas City put some hits on him.
Chiefs knocked him out of the game on Monday Night Football when the Chiefs won 29-23. Ronnie Harmon, big play guy.
Well, two catches for 53 yards, and bear in mind that they only had 86 yards in passing before that last catch.
Harmon has more catches than any running back in the National Football League over the last 3 years. This time he'll run the ball on a trap play. And he gets up to the 36-yard line of Kansas City, a gain of 3 yards. Derek Thomas was waiting for him.
Well, Derek is quick. He's down a 3-point stance, thinking about rushing the passer, gets started in that direction, has the ability to stop, turn around, get back, and get involved in the tackle.
Chargers go without a huddle here on 2nd down and 7. Pass to the near sideline, incomplete, poorly thrown. Papuna, the intended receiver. Brian Washington was the defender.
the big play was that running play. They are thinking that they're going to catch. Derek Thomas is such a strong outside rusher. So they run a little draw play or something inside of him, hoping that you really don't have much of a problem blocking him. But as I said before, he does it, but he's so quick he can stop, come back, and get involved in the play.
3rd and 6 for San Diego. Football at the Chief 35-yard line. 13-7 Kansas City. 1:31 left to go first half. 2 timeouts remaining for the Chargers. Papunu in motion for the line of scrimmage. And now Stan Humphries goes on a quarterback sneak, a little delayed quarterback sneak because there was a problem. It appears
the ball.
A fumble quarterback sneak, and then he picked the ball up and runs for 10 yards and a first down.
The second time that's happened. You recall when he was down by his goal line, the connection between the center and the quarterback was not there. That is a lucky break because the tackles were rushing to the outside, leaving that inside area wide open for the quarterback.
What a strange play that burns Kansas City. They snapped from Courtney Hall to Stan Humphries was fumbled. Then he picked it up, and all of a sudden, he had 10 yards of open field before William White and Anthony Davis could tackle him.
You mentioned he's tough. Did you see him sliding? No. He was going head first, trying to pick up that first down. And they exercise another timeout, so that means they should have 1 timeout remaining.
If there is one stat that sticks out about Stan Humphries, he wins 70% of his games as a starter. I remember him when he was with the Redskins. He was about ready to get pushed out of the league.
Well, he got into the doghouse of Joe Gibbs at the time, but I talked to some people with that organization. They felt talent-wise, and that was when Rippon was the quarterback, taking him to the Super Bowl. They felt that this guy, Stan Humphries, was a better quarterback than Mark Rippon.
Bobby Beathard stayed with him. 1:23 left to go in the first half. 1st and 10 after the freak play by Stan Humphries up the middle. Chiefs are blitzing. Humphries back to throw. Now rolling to the left side. Throws over the middle. The pass is incomplete. Off the right hand of Tony Martin. On a deep corner, or deep crossing route at the 10-yard line. The Chiefs had it well defended, plus they're putting some serious heat on Humphries.
They had Davis and Martin Bayless, both of them going after the quarterback on that last play, and had him moving out of that pocket, and he's lucky that ball was not intercepted because he threw it behind the receiver.
William White almost picked it off for the Chiefs. 2nd down and 10 for San Diego. Clock stopped at 1:18 left in the half. The line of scrimmage is the 27 of Kansas City. 2 receivers right, 1 to left. Humphries, fade route, left side for Jefferson. Reaches up and has the ball knocked loose. Great defensive play by James Hasty and William White, and Hasty's hurt.
At the last instant, it looked like that ball was going to be caught, and I think it was probably White that stripped that ball out of his hands. He's just kind of hanging that ball up there, going down a straight pattern down the field.
As William White covering the play, Sean Jefferson maybe should have caught that football as we look at it on the replay, but Hasty in good position to defend it. The ball rolled down the chest of Jefferson, and then William White came in late.
Yeah, and hit his own man. That's why Hasty is down. It wasn't the receiver, it was his own defensive player that hit him.
Injured player for Kansas City. Kansas City is going to be charged for a timeout here. Here's the National Football League rule. If a player is injured in the last 2 minutes of either half, it is a charged timeout to the team. And let's go down to Bob Gretz.
Well, Mitch, it was across the field. We got the sun shining on our eyes on this side of the field. Could not see what happened. But James Hasty has got to be one of the most durable players in the National Football League. He's missed just 1 game in his career, and that goes back to his rookie season with the Jets. His consecutive start streak is up near 100, and he's also a guy sometimes, of course, last year he was hurt, and it affected his play, and he took a lot of heat for that. But he's laying on his back now. You're absolutely right. The receiver should have caught that ball. The ball basically came out when he hit the ground. And, geez, I didn't hear any whistles, so I guess it was incomplete.
Why didn't they, Bob, they didn't blow the whistle when, who was it? Hughes caught the pass, and there was about 12 guys on him. And just at the end of that, they finally blew the whistle. But it's strange that they blew the whistle when Collins was tackling that tight end, and he was still up in the air.
I'll tell you one thing that's appearing on a couple calls down here, Len, when you're close to the field. Some of these officials on this crew have that deer in the headlights look. You know, the eyes get real big, and it's like, what do we do?
Right.
And then they got to have one of those huddles, and then, of course, again, I hate to remind everybody, this is the same crew that couldn't count to 11. But eventually they seem to get a call made. But Hasty's up walking off. Looks like he's in a little bit of pain. Wouldn't be surprised if they just took him right to the locker room. We're so close to halftime.
Yes. This is the crew when the Chiefs play the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day. They'll all be sitting around Bill Cowher's table. He'll get one white meat or dark meat for Thanksgiving Day.
And somebody will be taking pictures.
Yeah. They'll count 12 guys. James Hasty Great point by Bob Gratz on the durability of Hasty. Plus, he's not been a guy that's been on the sidelines. He started every game now for the last 8 years consecutively.
The worst thing is, his own man, William White, was the guy that hit him that caused the problem.
Look, I get hit on enough by the blue guys.
James is down here pointing at his chest, so I think he may have just gotten the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah.
Dave Kendall walking him off the field along with Dr. John Brown. 1:13 left to go in the first half. The Chiefs lead the Chargers 13-7. San Diego has 3rd and 10 at the Chief 27-yard line.
Let's see what they do defensively, whether they'll actually go after him with a blitz or go back in 7-man coverage.
6 defensive backs for the Chiefs. Darren Anderson's on the field for the injured. Hasty to throw. Humphreys goes over the middle. It's knocked away by Anthony Davis, and an outstanding defensive play. Reaching around the intended receiver, Ronnie Harmon. It looked like a football camp instructional play.
I am telling you, what a play that was. Bear in mind, he was able to go around him with his right hand and knock the ball away without touching him with his left hand. Had he touched him with his left hand, they would have thrown the flag and it would have been a first down.
John Carney on that to try a field goal. He missed his first field goal try this season. Since then, he has hit 10 in a row. He was the AFC Pro Bowl kicker last year. This will be a 45-yard attempt. The holder is Gail Gilbert. The long snapper, David Bennett's a poor line drive kick that's no good. Nowhere close to the goalpost for John Carney.
That was ugly. That never did get as high as the crossbar.
Did it get blocked at all? Might have partially blocked by the Chiefs.
The way it flew out of there, you would think that somebody must have gotten a hand on it.
It might have been Mark Collins or Neil Smith. Let's go to the sideline.
Yeah, I think Neil Smith got the kick. If the reaction of his teammates, there's no question they think Neil got it. Looks like Neil got that big paw up here. Of course, this is the place where he blocked 2 in one game.
Yeah, that's right. And it was the difference in winning and losing.
Yeah, the one he blocked with his head.
Looks like maybe he got his fingers.
He was a basketball player.
Oh, okay.
And an outstanding one, he told me. Of course, how am I going to dispute that? But he said that he could go to the hoop.
You going to guard him at 6'4", 273?
What is his wingspan? About 80-some inches.
Post you up down, or me, or anybody else left low. He's going to get it and score. Chiefs go to a knee. Chargers are out of timeouts, and this is going to be the end of the... Chargers have 1 timeout remaining, but they don't want to stop the clock. The clock is going to tick down. The Chiefs lead 13-7. A couple valiant defensive stands here by Kansas City.
Yeah, go back to Anthony Davis's play. Really an outstanding play. Because they had Harmon, he catches that ball, and he's flying down the field. Not only has a first down, but there's a chance he might get into the end zone.
Chiefs have played good football here, albeit a couple of penalties that have worked against them. Bono's going to go to a knee one more time as Tim Grunhart snaps it to him, and we're going to go to halftime. At halftime, before we go to halftime, let's go down to Bob Gratz quickly.
Yeah, James Hasty just with the wind knocked out of him. They're going to take him into the locker room now. He looks like he's okay, but that's simply the wind knocked out of him.
And with that comment, we have halftime. Kansas City leads the San Diego Chargers. The score, the Chiefs 13, the Chargers 7. Bill Grigsby's halftime is forthcoming after this on the Kansas City Chiefs Fox Football Radio Network. Neil Smith at the end of the first half. Tamarick Vanover has already had a good day of work. Stands back at his own 4-yard line. 13-7 Kansas City. High kick that angles to the near side of the field. Taken at the numbers by Vanover. 10-15. Runs into his own man at the 20, and then he's surrounded by Chargers and goes down really before he got to the 20. Well, they're going to mark him down right at the 20-yard line.
You got the ball 37's going into the end zone. Where's the whistle?
Now the ball was ripped away from Tamarick Vanover. And Rodney Harrison ripped the football away. But the whistle, or the play was blown dead at the 20-yard line.
At halftime, a lot of people were questioning some of the calls these officials did or did not make.
And both sides, really. I mean, not just
now they're going to huddle up over here again.
Marty Schottenheimer is looking on, of course, with great interest. 37, Rodney Harrison pried the football loose from Tamarick Vanover, but the Chiefs thought the play was dead. Looks like it is going to be dead. Bob Gratz, some concern about the official.
Well, there's no question about that. One of the things Marcus Allen was over there arguing about was the fact that, you know, we have these early whistles when one guy tackles one guy. Then you've got an entire coverage team holding up one guy, and there's no whistle. Let me update you injury-wise. James Hasty, Doug Terry both stayed in the locker room. Hasty with ribs, and Terry with that, basically what's a concussion. Both are questionable. Siglar should return.
In the wild, wacky, wonderful world of the National Football League, it's been a wild, wacky, wonderful day. Pass overthrown, looking to the near flat. Bono looking for Anderson, overthrows him. Might have thrown it away. It was well covered by the Chargers.
Oh, they had Marcus Allen as a flanker set up to the right side and trying to get linebackers on him, but they put a defensive back out there on him. They started the game with that screen pass. They got nothing. Now they start the second half with that play. They got nothing.
Second down 10 for the Chiefs. Football at their own 20-yard line. 13-7 Kansas City. Just underway here in the third quarter. Cash in motion to the right. Faking a handoff as Bono dumps it off. Finds Cash on the right sideline. He's hit after a gain of 3 yards at the 23-yard line. Hard hit on the near side by Lewis Bush, outside linebacker.
I hope that Kimball goes back to the huddle and says, when you faked to me, I went down the line, downfield. Nobody was around me. Quarterback, they have to have this information. You can't see everything out there, so you have to rely on your teammates to let you know in certain situations when you're open.
Dallas is being manhandled by San Francisco in Dallas. Troy Aikman out of the game with an injury. New Orleans won again. Indianapolis used to be the best thing since the invention of the cotton gin, and they got beat again today. They're 5-5. The throw is Bono. Steps into the pocket after being rushed, looking for Willie Davis. Pass is incomplete. Well covered on the near side by Willie Clark of the Chargers. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Chiefs Fox Football Radio Network.
101 KCFX, Harrisonville, Kansas City. Your radio home of the Chiefs and classic rock and roll of the 70s.
Mitch Holthus, Len Dawson, Bill Grigsby, Bob Gratz, Jack Murphy Stadium, beautiful San Diego, California. Louis Aguirre to punt from his own 8-yard line. Andre Coleman, who's been held in check by the Chiefs today on punt returns. Again, Coleman leads the National Football League in punt returns. Aguirre's kick to the boundary to prevent returns by Coleman. This one he takes at his own 34. Wants a right return. He's at the 40-yard line waiting for a block. Now a late burst of speed, and he gets hit at the 47-yard line. A return of about 13 yards by Coleman, 4.35 hang time, 42-yard punt, and there's a timeout on the field. 13:44 left in the third, 13-7 Chiefs. Now this on the Chiefs Fox Football Radio.
Field position for the San Diego Chargers. See if the defense for Kansas City can do to them what the defense of San Diego did to Kansas City's offense.
High formation set, tight to the right side for Stan Humphries. Toss play to the right side, Papunu leading the blocking. There's no blocking there. Neil Smith charging through and tackling Rodney Culver for a loss back at his own 36-yard line, own 44-yard line. Neil Smith, loss of 2 on the play.
I'll tell you, it's showing the quickness of Neil Smith. We were talking about Derek Thomas and his quickness. There's just sheer speed by big Neil Smith, able to get out there and run down that running back.
Second down 12. Big Neil came to play today. 6 defensive backs for the Chiefs. Bayless in there. Anthony Davis, the linebacker. Faking a handoff. Humphries has time. Rifles his pass near side. And the catch is made by Ronnie Harmon. Has yet to be touched and finally forced out of bounds at the 44-yard line of Kansas City. And near a Charger first down. Anthony Davis made the tackle. Ronnie Harmon, a good catch of a low throw by Stan Humphries.
And Mark Collins should have just touched him. That's all he had to do because he was down. And Harmon alertly got up and started to run when he wasn't touched. But I think probably what Mark Collins is saying, he did touch him on the leg.
Ronnie Harmon's a big play, waiting for a place to happen. Yes. Third down and a yard. Short of a first down of the Chargers at the Chief 44. Gain of 11 on that last pass play. Papunu in motion to the right side. Shannon Mitchell, the H-back. Lead blocking for Culver, trying the right side. The Chiefs chase him down. George Jameson. Tracy Simeon there for the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chargers knocked down short of a first down. Loss of 1 on 3rd and 1.
See, there was a play that took a while to develop, going to the right side over there, giving an opportunity for the linebacker, as you mentioned him, George Jameson and Tracy Simeon, to get over there and make the stop.
Neil Smith also did a great job of holding up his blocker to allow the linebackers to make the play. Now Darren Bennett to punt for San Diego. Stands at his own 39-yard line. Back deep is Vanover, standing at his own 10. The Chiefs defenders have made some big plays today. Kick high in the air, but short. Kicks it to the far sideline and takes a right bounce, and now will bounce out of bounds at a 90-degree angle. Covering for the San Diego Chargers was Eric Castle. Timeout on the field. 12 minutes left to go. Third quarter. 13-7. Chiefs lead 13-7. First and 10 for Kansas City. Football, their own 18-yard line. Split backs. For the Chiefs, this is Marcus Allen. Trying a play behind the block of the left guard and tackle. Zot and Alt. He's up to the 21-yard line and getting 3 yards on first down. Junior Seau hitting.
Well, the first time they had the ball, they were trying to throw it. That didn't work, so now they're going back to what they did best in the first half. There wasn't much yardage at all, just 120 yards in total offense for Kansas City, but they had 72 yards running with the football. That's what they would like to do, try to pick up some first downs by running with it, establish that line of scrimmage.
Jeff Criswell at right tackle. Ricky Sigler was hurt in the first half. Anders in the backfield. They play fake to Allen. Bono with time rolling the right side. Now dumps it off late. A little ad-lib play and finds Keith Cash with a high grab. And he's bumped out of bounds, but it's a Chief first down at Kansas City's own 36-yard line. A gain of 16 yards. Dwayne Harper was burned on the play.
Nice throw by Bono on the move, rolling out of the pocket to his right. Being right-handed, it makes it a lot easier to do it to that side as opposed to going the other way. But a nice touch pass to Keith Cash. They needed that. They need to move those chains a little bit, get down here. A 6-point lead is not enough, not with this team.
Not with Stan Humphries. 4 minutes into the second half, 13-7 Chiefs. Keith Cash remembers this stadium. He was injured here a year ago and, in effect, really ended his season for the most part until late in the year. Hand off Marcus Allen. Trap play inside. He's across the 40 up to the 41-yard line. A gain of 4 yards on first down. Dennis Gibson collides with him. But the Chiefs off the ball quickly. Nice angle blocking, and the Kansas City Chiefs have a nice first down run.
Will Shields with a good block on Leslie O'Neal, trapping him to the outside. They got that block, but they didn't get the block to the other people on the inside. But coming up with about 4 yards, not a bad first down call.
Again, other games, in case you're wondering about the division, Oakland trailed against the New York Giants in the fourth quarter, but rallied to win 17-13. Seattle scored 47 points today to beat Jacksonville 47-30. Denver and Philadelphia play tonight. In other action, Bono. He's being rushed this time, dumps it off late, throws it at the heels of Marcus Allen to avoid a sack by Chris Mims. What an alert play by Steve Bono.
Just get rid of the ball because they had 5 guys going after him. The heat was on him, and he knew he had to get rid of that football. As long as it's in the area, there's somebody on your side around there.
San Francisco continues to pound Dallas. 31-10. Minnesota.
Big news of that game is Troy Aikman out with a knee injury.
I think the 49ers were ready for that game today.
I think they got tired of hearing how bad they were.
10:16 left to go, third quarter here. The Chiefs lead the Chargers 13-7. Third down and 6 for Bono. He puts Lake Dawson, who lined up in the backfield, in motion to the far sideline. Bono looking right all the way, dumps it off. Webster Slaughter makes a sliding catch in front of the Chargers bench at the 49-yard line. First down, Kansas City.
Kimball Anders. Junior Seau blitzing from the outside that time. Kimball got up in his face and made the block, giving Bono enough time to get that ball off.
Gain of 9, first down, and Steve Bono is making some plays here.
Steve Bono this year has come on strong in the second half. That's the good news. He gets on a streak. We've seen this before. He'll get on a streak, and he can complete 10, 15 passes in a row.
Yeah, when he's off, it's early in the game, isn't it? Keith Cash lined up on the left side. Now moves to be a right side tight end. 2 flankers bunched up on the near side in motion left. Webster Slaughter, 3 wide receivers. Handoff up the middle. Marcus Allen churning those legs up and down, and he's up to the San Diego 43-yard line. A gain of 6 on first down. Dennis Gibson made the tackle, but another big gain for Kansas City. Actually give him a gain of 8 yards.
You said it right when you said the legs continued to drive. And that's the secret, because that gets him 2 or 3 more extra yards, even though somebody is hanging on him. Got a couple of more yards that he wouldn't ordinarily have gotten.
He runs like a hurdler every time he gets the football. Those knees are up and kicking. Second down 2 for the Chiefs at the 43 of San Diego, 13-7. Chiefs with the lead and driving again. Bono wants to throw it on second and short. Dumps it off delay pattern. He finds Kimball Anders out of the backfield. He's got a first down as he's hit hard by Lewis Bush at the 38-yard line. A gain of 4 and enough to move the chains, and now the Chiefs getting a little rhythm.
He must have heard you. Remember in the first half you said he missed a first down by about a half a yard or a yard because he did a little dancing? There was no dancing on that play. He lowered his shoulder. He knew the big linebacker was coming in there and drove him backwards.
Kimball always listens to our broadcast during the game. He really likes you.
Yeah.
He loves your HBO show during the week, but he really likes you on these broadcasts. Hi, Kimball. He's not waving up here. Must not have it tuned right now. Marcus Allen, Kimball Anders, split backs behind Steve Bono. Tight end right, Cash. Allen in motion to the left side of the field. Bono screen as he throws it left side. It's a wide receiver pass. Danon Hughes downfield, reaching up. Touchdown, Kansas City! A wide receiver pass, but hang on. A flag was thrown. The official may say this was not a lateral. This may be an illegal forward pass.
Great catch by Lake Dawson on the play. We have been alerted to the fact that somebody other than the quarterback might throw the football in this game.
Illegal forward pass on Kansas City. They're going to say that it was not a lateral. And Marty Schottenheimer again argues.
Which is illegal. The penalty for which is loss of down in the previous spot. Second down.
You heard that it's one of the most damaging penalties in the league because it's also loss of down. The Chiefs wanted to run a wide receiver pass.
Boy, Marcus Allen got a great block out there to give Hughes an opportunity to throw the football. The guy that can really throw is Marcus Allen, or at least he used to be. He used to be a quarterback here in San Diego when where he went to high school.
I'm not sure this game, we might not see Marcus throw the ball yet. I want to ask you about this play then and explain to the fans what happened, because they're going to say that it wasn't a lateral. What do you have to do to make that play work?
The throw behind, the person who's throwing the ball must throw it backwards.
And they're going to say that it was not backwards.
It was backwards, either forwards or straight on.
Loss of down on the play. Second down and 10. Chiefs have wide open Marcus Allen down at the 20 anyway. It's a gain of 18 yards. That time Allen found the bubble in the middle of the Chargers defense. And Kansas City gets a first down regardless. Move the chains, Kansas City.
Here's Bono. We said he can get on a streak. He's on a streak right now. He's throwing the ball exceptionally well. That was a terrific pass to Marcus Allen. It had to be over a linebacker and in front of a defensive back.
The play calling has also been very good on this drive for Kansas City.
We've seen a couple of reverse we saw today. We saw a flanker pass.
Not sure the Chargers know what to expect. But also the Chiefs have run the ball well on this drive. Cash lined up as a wing to the right side. Comes in motion. All the way to the near side boundary. Bono to throw as Lake Dawson reaching up. Holds it in. He's down to the 1 yard line. Trying to stretch forward. They're going to say he's down at the 1. Lake Dawson arguing, saying it was into the end zone, but instead it's first down, goal to go. Kansas City, gain of 19. The Chiefs are in business now.
Now, there are some receivers, they say, get alligator arms in a situation like that, where they don't want to stretch out. Lake Dawson knew he was going to get nailed down there, but he went up and made that tough catch. I go back to when Hasty got hurt, that the receiver for the Chargers should have come up with the ball, but he saw two defensive backs around him and didn't do it. But Lake Dawson did.
First down, goal to go for Kansas City. Tony Richardson is the fullback. Marcus Allen is the tailback. Allen's going to get the call, dives over the stack of Chargers, trying to wiggle his way into the end zone. And they're going to say he stopped short, just inches from the goal line. Junior Seau, as Pro Bowler met Pro Bowler, and the Chiefs don't have a touchdown yet.
No surprise who's going to get the ball down here, is it? It's going to be Marcus Allen. I thought he had it, personally, but they get 2 or 3 more cracks at it from down inside the 1 yard line if they want.
Ball just inches from the goal line, inside of the 1, and the nose of the football can't be more than 4 inches from the white stripe.
As a linebacker, you have to commit yourself down there and dive up over that pile to hope to hit the ball carrier in flight.
Cash in motion, wheeling around behind Steve Bono. Second down, goal to go, handoff Allen. Big hole right side, touchdown. Marcus Allen with the touchdown. 102 and counting for the Hall of Famer.
Steve Bono got tripped up in somebody's feet down there, either the center or an offensive guard. Almost did not get the handoff to Marcus Allen. When he got his feet tied up in there, I think it was either the center or the guard.
Jeff Criswell locked up on Glenn Young of San Diego and gave a nice gaping hole on the right side for Marcus Allen to squeeze through.
I saw David Zott in the end zone. When you're blocking and you take yourself into the end zone, you know you've created a hole.
Chiefs may go for 2 here. 6:16 left to go, third quarter, 19-7 Chiefs. Valerio has come in to announce that he is going to line up as an extra blocker or receiver, even though he has his number 73. Now Valerio is left. The Chiefs are going to go for 2 here. They lead 19-7. 6:16 left to go in the third quarter. Webster Slaughter in motion from the left wide receiver spot to the right side. Bono, short roll right, throws near side to Dawson, trying to get to the end zone, can't. He's held out of the end zone. Excellent defensive play by Dwayne Harper of San Diego. The Chiefs get 6, but that's all. They lead 19-7. We're back with 6:16 left in the third on the Chiefs Fox Football Radio Network.
After the game, more classic.
Call now to win. 1-800-576-77FX.
Chiefs lead the Chargers 19-7. 6:16 left to go, third quarter. How about the drive by Kansas City?
All right. 215 yards in total offense isn't all that much, but they have a 19-7 lead. That's the important thing.
12-play, 82-yard drive. Steve Bono, an absolute surgeon on the drive. Kick taken by Andre Coleman at the 5, 10, 15, has a head of steam, 20. Turns his shoulders and goes down at the 24-yard line. Special teams work by Kansas City has been very good now 2 weeks in a row. Pelham McDaniels was down for the Chiefs. 18-yard return, and the Chargers will have 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
The guy that sacrificed his body was Mineski because he had to run into the wedge. And
why am I not surprised?
He just got waxed down there.
I think Dallas is down to their last quarterback, aren't they? They tell me now Jason Garrett is in the game for the injured Wade Wilson.
Wow.
49ers are mad today, I think. Dwayne Young tied in left side. That game, 31-10, 49ers at Texas Stadium. Papunu in motion near side. Humphreys retreats into the pocket on 1st down deeply. Throwing a pass down the right sideline, overthrown, incomplete. Derek Thomas was on pass coverage that time, shoulder to shoulder with the intended receiver, Ronnie Harmon.
Derek still doesn't know the ball was thrown, though. He had his back to the line of scrimmage, just running stride for stride with Ronnie Harmon down the sideline.
He can do it all.
It shows you the speed that he had. In this system, you know, he could really be great because of his quickness and that on running plays. He's free. Generally, people don't get to him because the defensive linemen are keeping blockers off of Derek.
James Hasty was injured in the first half, back out at right side cornerback for the Chiefs. This is Rodney Culver. Comes up the right side on a dive over the middle of the offensive line and gains 2 yards on a 2nd down and 10 play.
Now, he has disappeared. Remember in the first quarter, he took that drive, like 26 yards and 2 carries, and all of a sudden, you haven't mentioned his name.
And again, Natron Means not playing today. He's out maybe for a month with a groin pull. 5:37 and counting left to go, third quarter. The Chiefs lead the Chargers 19-7. Saliamua, Phillips, Thomas now on the defensive line. Humphreys has protection, has a man open. Ronnie Harmon near sideline, puts a move on Anthony Davis and goes down, but it's a Charger 1st down at the 40-yard line. A gain of 12 yards. Mark Collins hit him to knock him down, but it's a gain and a 1st down for the Chargers.
It was kind of a pick play because the wide receiver ran into Davis, the linebacker, and his man was Harmon out in the flat. And since he ran into him, he was late getting there, so consequently it was an easy throw for Stan Humphreys and an easy 1st down for the Chargers.
Let's go back to the Cleveland game. Sometimes they call the pick play, sometimes they don't. Of course, the Chiefs do a lot of pick routes themselves. Receiver right side and a receiver left, both on the line of scrimmage. Wing to the right side, Papunu. Humphreys to throw, dumps it off to Culver in the left flat. He's forced out by Derek Thomas, who lined up in a 2-point stance that time, and forces Culver out. Short gain of about 3 yards. And right now, Derek Thomas is everywhere.
He is quick, is he not? I mean, a minute ago, stride for stride, 40 yards down the field with Ronnie Harmon. That time as a linebacker flying out in the flat to make a tackle on a very short gain for the Chargers.
They're going to line him up at free safety.
There's nothing, there's one thing about in football that, you can't learn, and that's speed. You either have it or you don't.
And a guy that big, that fast, 250 pounds, and sprinter speed. 2nd down and 7 for Humphreys from his own 44. Stretch play to the near side. It's Culver, loses his footing, and goes down on a pile of Tracy Simeon at the 45-yard line, just a gain of 1. Ronnie Harmon's numbers have been very, very good.
Yeah, 4 catches, 77 yards. He's the guy that they were concerned about. He's been the guy that they have been concerned about every time they come out here to play them. Basically, it's always been in a 3rd down situation, but because of the injury to Means, he's out there quite a bit of the time.
He got beat on last week. He had to carry the ball 14 times. Career high for him with Means getting hurt against the Dolphins. He wasn't used to it. 3rd down and 6 for the Chargers at their own 45. 19-7 Chiefs. 3:45 left to go, third quarter. Humphreys goes down in a sea of red, gold, and white. Neil Smith, here comes the home run swing. He, Mickle, Phillips, and Thomas, all 4 Chief front men on defense were there.
They moved Mickle inside to a defensive tackle, and he just took that offensive guard and carried him right back into the lap of Stan Humphreys. You had 3 defensive people from Kansas City on Stan Humphrey on that play. That's what you're calling a great pass rush.
Sometimes there's a bull rush and a speed rush. They had it all that time. A speed bull rush. 4th sack of the day for Kansas City, and the Chargers have lost a quarter of the field in yardage. Great punt here by Bennett, taken by Van over at the 10-yard line, trying to jitterbug around. He eluded Andre Coleman, and then he's forced out of bounds by David Brandon. Hang time, 4.86 seconds. And again, punting to the boundary was Bennett. And there's a break in the action. There's a break in the action now.
The pride of Kansas City. Belfatti ice cream. You've never tasted anything as beautiful.
When you need to relax, Kansas City has a great new place for you to go. It's a radio station. It's new, and it's called Smooth Jazz 106.5 The City. Turn it on tonight to enjoy the relaxing sound of Smooth Jazz 106.5 FM The City.
Mitch Holthus here at Jack Murphy Stadium, San Diego. 3:17 left to go, third quarter. Chiefs lead 19-7. Greg Hill gets a handoff on first down from Steve Bono and advances the ball from his own 20 to the 23 for a gain of 3. 54-yard punt by Darren Bennett. That a 5-yard return by Vanover set up this situation.
And Kansas City, when Hill is in the game, they don't throw the ball as much. Well, you and I know this. I'm sure San Diego knows it as well. So they'll be looking for the run. I think what they need to do is get him more involved in the passing game.
Hill this year has caught only 5 passes, and I think he's only had 1 pass reception over the last 5 or 6 games.
Yeah.
Second down and 6, but the play calling today for Kansas City has been outstanding. All right, 3 wide receivers. One of those is a wing. Walker goes in motion left. Bono back to throw, has protection, and the protection breaks down. He's tomahawked from behind by Leslie O'Neal at the 20-yard line. O'Neal defeated his blocker, 1001, 1002, and then here he came.
Bono was anticipating getting rid of the ball, but I don't think he wanted to throw it right down the middle of the field.
Loss of 4, 3rd and 10 for the Chiefs. Football at their own 30. What about Bono's numbers now?
Well, Steve Bono is 14 to 23, 119 yards.
Most of that on the last drive. Kansas City went 82 yards.
He needs 10 yards now.
Second sack by the Chargers today. Leslie O'Neal has just performed his 100th career sack. He has 7.5 sacks this season. Handoff and a draw play. Kimball Anders left side, 25 up to the 30. First down, Kansas City on a 12-yard run. The Chargers coaches next to us slam their fist to the table on a 12-yard run on a weak side sweep. It was the play last week that went for the touchdown against Washington.
And that time, Kimball Anders not dancing, but going straight down the field. He just did pick up that first down. That's a big first down for Kansas City. Time-wise, 1:42 counting down in the third quarter.
And I know you are you love to dig into statistics. Kimball Anders.
Yes, yards per carry, 7.71.
On grass surface. It's the best in the National Football League. First down and 10. Football at the 32 up to the 35-yard line. Greg Hill, gain of 3.
You look at Hughes down there blocking on those defensive backs. I tell you, they do a great job, and those defensive backs don't like it. They're not accustomed to having receivers on a running play or any type of play being blocked like Kansas City's receivers block them.
A lot of folks are out hunting in our listening area, Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri.
Hunting for what?
Well, I just want to say this. The pancake feed that they go to before they hunt, that's what the Chiefs wide receivers are doing to these Chargers a couple times. The pancake feed. Toss left side to Anders on second down and 7. Quick burst of speed to the outside, and Greg Hill attacking outside the left tackle near a first down. Knocked down by Dennis Gibson, a gain of 9 yards.
And then once again, you mentioned Kimball Anders a minute ago running with the ball. He had the key block out there on the cornerback, made that block, and the thing about Hill is he's disturbed because he didn't break that tackle, because if he broke that tackle, then the foot race would have been on.
24 seconds left, third quarter. The Chiefs have owned the third quarter today. They led 13-7 at halftime. The Chiefs have dominated this third quarter. They had a 5-minute, 44-second drive the last time of 82 yards. They're working on another one. Sweep near side. This time it is Greg Hill. He gets nailed for a loss at the 40, loss of 2 yards. Chris Mims, the man responsible for the defensive play.
Yeah, he broke through, got that penetration.
And that's the last play of the third quarter. The final 15 minutes is coming up with the Chiefs leading 19-7 over the Chargers. This is the Kansas City Chiefs Fox football.
Find a scrimmage and run with the football.
Marcus Allen has been doing that. Now he's yielded the time to Greg Hill. Hill came in with a 4.3-yard average. Now has over 400 yards rushing for the season. Second and 12 after the loss of 2 by Hill. Hughes in motion. Bono straight back into the pocket. Here come the Chargers. And down goes Bono at the 28-yard line. Chris Mims didn't look like he was blocked on the play. Looked like he defeated Jeff Criswell.
They blitzed on the play, and what happened is the one guy you don't turn loose is the inside defensive lineman. That's what they did on that last play, able to get to Steve Bono.
Loss of 9. Jeff Criswell defeated by Chris Mims. 6 defensive backs for San Diego. The secondary, Dwayne Harper, Sean Gale, Bo Orlando, Terrence Shaw, Willie Clark. Back there for San Diego along with Eric Castle.
Said San Diego's line was wearing down. They were fired up on that last play.
Forget that. Back to throw on 3rd and 21. They shift the pocket left to give Bono more time, so he's gunning it long for Willie Davis. Jump ball up for grabs. Intercepted by Rodney Harrison of San Diego at the 18-yard line. Rodney Harrison, his 4th interception this season. Steve Bono has one of the best touchdown to interception ratios in the National Football League. Only Eric Kramer is better, but that time he made a mistake.
But it's like a punt. And a good punt, it's inside the 20-yard line.
Great point. 14-19 left to go in the game. 19-7 Chiefs over the Chargers. You're listening to Chiefs football.
Could win a grand tomorrow.
Hi, this is Joe Phillips letting you know the Fox Chiefs Classic of the Day is Running on Empty by Jackson Brown. Running long.
Be caller 101 at 576-77FX when you hear us started between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. and win $1,000. The Chiefs and classic rock and roll from the 70s. 101 KCFX. The Fox.
Attention, all you diehard Chiefs fans. Now you can actually become a Kansas City Chief. The 28 Kansas City area Price Choppers now have authentic Neil Smith and Derek Thomas sports masks and Fat is the Enemy of Speed t-shirts. They're only available for a limited time, and they're only at Price Chopper. Also this week at Price Chopper, look for great prices on Men and Speed Stick deodorants and antiperspirants. The Chiefs and Price Chopper. Now that's a winning combination.
Thursdays on KMBC 9 News. It's Your Money. Inside investigations, breaking stories, exclusive reports.
I'm Chris Kent. We're keeping an eye on your money, watching how your tax dollars are being spent. $750,000 for an airport agriculture building nobody's using. Getting rid of abandoned buildings will cost another $1.5 million of your dollars. And why are prison inmates pocketing millions of your tax dollars?
Chris Kepps, Michael Mahoney. It's Your Money. Thursdays on KMBC 9 News.
Next Sunday night, it's the Chiefs and the Oilers under the lights at Arrowhead. If you want to go, the Fox has tickets. Listen to win yours all week long here on the radio home of the Chiefs, 101, the Fox.
Kansas City dominated the third quarter. They had the ball for 10 of the 15 minutes of the third quarter. Now the Chargers have the ball 1st and 10 out the interception by Rodney Harrison. Swing pass, right side to Culver. He is forced out of bounds at the 20-yard line after a gain of just 2 yards. George Jamison over there. The Chiefs' defense has been able to cover vertical and horizontal today.
And they made the open field tackle, which is great. Neil Smith was mad at himself because he was jumping up there. He almost got his hand on that football. Because I know him. He has visions of tipping that up there, catching it, and going into the end zone. Because he has his own routine worked out, what he'll do. He scores a touchdown.
2nd and 9. For the Chargers, just a gain of 1. Chiefs only missed 4 tackles last week against the Redskins. 13 against the Chargers on Monday Night Football. Humphrey's in trouble. He's going to run the ball. Up the 25, 30, 35. Slides to a stop at the 37-yard line. Now listen to me closely.
Okay.
Stan Humphreys just ran for an 18-yard gain up the center of the field.
He is a tough cookie. I'm surprised he slid.
He's not exactly Steve Young, but still a 19-yard gain. They're going to give him officially.
He reminds me a lot of Brett Favre, that type of a quarterback.
Don't count him out yet. 19-7 Chiefs, and a long way to go. 13-20 left to go in the game. Humphreys this time set to throw, being chased. Neil Smith chasing from behind. Humphreys throws late, finds the receiver on the far side. It's a gain of 10 yards as he's spun to the ground at the 48-yard line. Sean Jefferson gets the catch, a gain of 10 yards. James Hasty spun him to the ground, and the Chargers getting this crowd fired up. Here comes San Diego.
Yes, do not count them out. I said last year, several ball games went right down to the wire, and Stan Humphrey pulling them through. Because he has the ability, we just saw a moment ago, to improvise. Running for 18 yards in the first down, that time rolling out and firing the ball down the field for another first down.
Ike Davis leaves for San Diego on the offensive line. Von Parker's the right tackle. Joe Kokozo's the right guard. Courtney Hall is the center. They're going to run a draw play. This is Culver. Culver to the 50s, hit by Anthony Davis with an outstanding one-on-one tackle. Gain of just 2 yards.
Well, you said it's so important. Those linebackers, when one-on-one down there, if they can make that open field tackle, it turns a short gain like it is like that into potentially a first down play.
We've seen Jamison, Simeon do it. We've seen Thomas do it. This might be the best job of linebacker tackling the Chiefs have done
because
this
the
season.
defensive backs have their back to the line of scrimmage. They're covering people. They can't see the runner.
60 Bs for Kansas City. Empty backfield for San Diego's. Culver's in motion. Humphreys wants to throw that way. Reaching grab by the receiver, Rodney Culver. He's tackled at the 44-yard line, but a penalty flag thrown. Martin Bayless, whose responsibility covering Culver, made the hit, but it may be coming back. It's holding on San Diego.
You talk about there are certain penalties that are devastating. Here's a team down 19-7. They got to get moving, get on the board, come up with a good pass, a catch, a first down, and bring it on back.
Stan Humphreys, hands on hips, looking to the sideline to Bobby Ross.
Number 72, offense, jam to the face. 10-yard penalty.
Harry
Swain. Well, he's got Derek Thomas over there. That's a problem. When virtually on every down it's a pass or a draw play for the San Diego Chargers trying to catch up here in the fourth quarter. So that means Derek Thomas is going to be out there on Harry Swain the rest of the ball game.
Two things have bugged Bobby Ross more than anything this year. One, turnovers, and two, the lack of protection by his offensive line. Second down and 18. Humphreys taking a quick snap, rolling right, has a man open near sideline, hauling it in. Mark Say, and then is out of bounds on a sideline pattern. Down to the Chiefs' 48-yard line, a gain of 13 yards on it'll be third down about 5.
There is a way to beat being sacked. They double-team Neil Smith with two people to box him in so that the quarterback can roll out that way. That means Derek Thomas has to chase from way on the other side, while he's being blocked to get to the quarterback. That's called moving the pocket, which is a good idea.
Derek now is on the sidelines along with Neil to try to catch a rest. Keith Traylor out there for Kansas City on the defensive line. Third down and 6. Humphreys, quick slant, fires to Martin, complete for a first down, it appears, at the 42-yard line of Kansas City in front of James Hasty. First down, San Diego on the quick slant from Stan Humphreys to Tony Martin.
And going out and working on James Hasty, that's what I would be doing too. Anytime you have a guy leave the ball game because of an injury, you got to go back out there and make him play.
Chiefs are switching personnel on the defensive front, trying to keep fresh folks out there.
That's the key now because they know they're going to be chasing after Stan Humphreys the rest of the ball game.
Mickle, Booker, Pella McDaniels, Dan Saliamu, the front four. Chiefs in a 4-6 defense. First and 10 for the Chargers at the 41 of Kansas City. 10:52 left to go in the game. 19-7 Chiefs. Handoff to Ronnie Harmon's got nowhere to go. He was bracketed by Anthony Davis. Another open field tackle by Davis.
He is really improving. You see the improvement in that guy every week. He read that. That's his man. Because they have 6 defensive backs out there. His man is that back there, whether he runs with the ball or goes out on a pass pattern.
Flag thrown on Kansas City. Offsides on Kansas City. So instead of having a no gain,
number 34, defense,
Dale Carter, a cornerback.
How could you be offsides as a cornerback?
Dale is arguing 6th penalty on Kansas City today for 41 yards, and they've come at critical times.
He's up there jamming the wide receiver, but, man, you can't be offsides.
Like real estate, location. Now he looks at the football as he is on Tony Martin. In motion, Mark Slay out of the right slot. Humphreys to throw on 1st and 5, faking a pump short. Now wants to throw long, gunning it for the end zone. Down the far sideline, looking for Jefferson. Knocked away at the last moment by Mark Collins in one of his best plays of the season. In the end zone, waiting for the football was Mark Say. And at the last possible moment, Mark Collins knocks the ball loose.
Because he was trailing the receiver all the way down there. Terrific play. I was looking in the backfield back there, and it should have been a holding call because I saw guys being tackled. I'm talking about defensive players for Kansas City.
Mark Collins reaching up with the left hand at the last possible moment to prevent the football from arriving into the hands of Mark Say. Second down, 5 for the Chargers at the Chief 36. Back to throw Humphreys. Thomas chasing. He's blocked at the last moment. The pass is incomplete. Covering for Kansas City, Dale Carter, Brian Washington. Derek Thomas was zeroing in at the crosshairs on Stan Humphreys. He was blocked at the last moment, but I think Humphreys felt the pressure.
Well, he was rolling out to the right, showing how quick Derek Thomas is, coming all the way from that right end position to chase the quarterback down. Almost got to him.
Now it's 3rd and 5 for the Chargers at the Chief 36-yard line. 19-7, Kansas City with the lead. 10-16 left to go in the game.
I would consider this 4-down territory for the Chargers.
Spread offense, 3 wide receivers. Papunu tight end left. Here comes the blitz. Down goes Humphreys at the 47-yard line. Anthony Davis firing through, sacking Humphreys.
This guy, I'm telling you, is better every week. He timed that blitz. That time they went after the quarterback. They also had Martin Bayless coming on the blitz as well. Nobody touched Anthony Davis. He timed it perfectly. And so instead of a 4-down situation, because of the loss, they're going to have to punt the ball away.
Anthony Davis, the old Ute from Utah, played in this stadium collegiately against San Diego State. And now Kansas City has to call timeout. As the Chiefs on 4th and 13, as the punter on the field for San Diego, Darren Bennett.
Charge timeout. Kansas City.
Chiefs call timeout. 9:59 left to go in the game. It is 19-7. Chiefs lead the Chargers. Let's go to a break now on the Chiefs Fox Football Radio Network. At the Murph, it's an AFC West rumble. The Chiefs lead the Chargers 19-7. 9:59 left to go in the game. Darren Bennett to punt for San Diego. The Australian, a high pooch-type kick. It's going to go out of bounds at the 20. And a poor kick of 24 yards by Darren Bennett.
So what's the flag for? A yellow flag over there about the 25-yard line.
Thrown in the Chiefs area where they were getting ready to receive the football.
Have a ball play. Hey, coach.
And the referee of this crew, the white hat, Gordon McCarter, over to try to figure it out. Bob Gretz is down there. Again, we have another discussion from this group.
Well, Mitch, you know this is important because the head coach's headset went flying off, and he took about a 5-yard run onto the field. He's signaling for a personal foul of some kind. And then, of course, we have another huddle, which is we've had more huddles by the officials than by the other teams. And the call, I did not see the call, but it looks like it's against San Diego.
Yes, it is.
Well, Marty Schottenheimer wanted an ejection early in the game after the Chiefs' first touchdown, and Danny Villa was bowled over on a placement try. Marcus Allen, the captain of the Chiefs, talking it over now with Gordon McCarter.
If it's a penalty on San Diego, that's going to put them in great field position.
You know, guys, I got a question for you, Len.
Okay.
You know, the last possession, the Chiefs have had some success today running the football.
Yes.
Have they not?
Yes, they have.
The last time they had the ball, all they did was throw.
Why?
Yeah, exactly.
You say why?
Why?
Yeah, I don't know, because what you want to do is run some time off that clock. You're ahead. You know, the other team has got to catch up.
Penalty is declined. First down.
I would think it would be a good bet maybe, Len, that now with 9:50 to go,
Yes.
that we might see a few running plays now, huh?
And go over John Alt's side. They generally have success doing that.
Allstate.
Jack Murphy Stadium, 9:50 left to go in the game here in San Diego. The Chiefs 19, the Chargers 7. First and 10 for Kansas City. Football at its own 22-yard line. Split backs for Bono. Sweep, near side. Hill attacks the left tackle. 25-yard line, 30 and up. The near sideline sprints up to the 38-yard line. A gain of 16 yards by Greg Hill.
And Kimball Anders got involved in the block, made the block on the cornerback, and that was the block that sprung Hill to the outside, picking up some yardage. Yes, indeed. Here it is. They were running to the left side over there where John Alt is stationed. It's not a bad idea.
Greg Hill in the top 10 in the league in fourth quarter rushing yards. There you go. Hill over 400 yards rushing this year. Stays in the backfield along with Anders. Split backs. Willie Davis, a flanker left, goes in motion. Now to set up shop on the right side. Bono, quick. Now they're going to blow the play dead and throw a flag with 9:41 left to go in the game. We have an update on that Dallas game. They still getting whipped. Last we had 31-17 maybe. The last we had. San Francisco putting a whooping on the old boys.
Oh, I tell you, in Dallas as well.
You know what that means if the Chiefs hold on here, Len Dawson?
The best record in the National Football League would belong to Kansas City.
They would tie the record of the 1969 Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes.
But long way to go in this one, and the Chargers have pulled it out of the fire.
The important game is the last one. That's the important game.
That's the one everybody seems to remember.
Hopefully the last one will be the Super Bowl and win that one.
Split backs, tight end right side for Bono. And a draw play. Kimball Anders sheds the tackle of Sayal. Moves up the right side. Avoids a loss. Gets back to the line of scrimmage on a 1st and 15 play. Penalty on Kansas City. Let's go back to the punt. There was a penalty thrown on San Diego for illegal use of hands, but Marty Schottenheimer declined the penalty because of the short punt by Bennett.
Yeah, but when you got Vanover back there, you know, sometimes I'd say let him have his hands on the ball.
Tick, 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 tick.
Because that happened once before this year, and he ran it back for a touchdown.
I remember it. Anders and Hill, offset I formation. Tight end right, flanker that same way, so it's a pro offset I set. Bono, short drop, dumps it off to Anders, has all kind of room. 35, 40, 45. A little sideline move to Anders, gain of 10 yards. Sayah makes the tackle. Nice move by Kansas City, running everybody off and allowing the right flat to be wide open for Anders.
And good move by Kimball Anders, going back inside so he keeps that clock ticking away. That's the important thing.
And near a first down.
Number 73, eligible.
All right, Jumpin' Joe Valerio's in there, ladies and gentlemen. He's an eligible receiver.
Let's see where they'll line up Valerio. Is it quarterback? No. Steve Bono's still there. Valerio will line up as an extra blocker to the right side on the line of scrimmage. Wing to the right side as well. Cash. Walker tight end left. I formation set. Third down and inches. You know who's going to get the ball. It's Marcus Allen. I don't know if he got it or not. San Diego with a good push.
They had 9 people going after that one.
Bo Orlando, the free safety.
Yes, they all came up there. Linebackers went. The safeties came flying up there as well.
Clock stopped at 7:52 left to go in the game. 19-7 Chiefs over the Chargers. Tim Grunhart waving his left hand said, hey, that's enough for a first down. And they may summon the chains. They will. Calling to the Chargers sideline to bring out the chains. And the Chiefs Fox Football Radio Network, while they're bringing out the chains, would like to congratulate Mike Thiessen from Overland Park. He was caller 11 in the special sound of the Pizza Hut Hut, Hut Hut Hut, and wins tickets for 2 in the Fox Box.
It's real good.
Did you like that?
Yeah, I did.
Hard count. It's called a hard count.
That's what they should have done the last play. Maybe they got them jumping off sides.
I just drew Lee Hamilton as the voice of the Chargers offside. Offsides, Lee Hamilton, San Diego. Anyway, tickets for 2, Fox Box, 50-yard line for the last game of the regular season at Arrowhead to Mike Thiessen of Overland Park. First down, Kansas City.
The important thing is first down. The clock is ticking away. 7:40 remaining in this football game.
19-7, Chiefs lead the Chargers. 3 wide receivers set. Single back is Greg Hill, who's run the ball very well here in the second half. Webster Slaughter in motion. Hill with the call, trying the left side. Gets up to the 15, gains 2 yards. 2 hard-earned yards. He got hit hard. Sayao and John Perella, third-year man out of Nebraska there for the Chargers.
It's virtually an 8-9-man front is what Kansas City is looking at right now, because everybody here knows Kansas City is going to run with the football because they want to run some time off the clock. And it's a good idea because they're at midfield right now. Another first down would almost put this game out of reach.
19-7. The Chiefs have come up with some big plays, in particular on defense. They also had a monster drive in the third quarter of 82 yards and 12 plays. Lynn Elliott, a couple long field goals. Steve Bono has been good in the second half. Greg Hill, the lone setback. Slaughter in motion, handoff Hill, slashing up the middle across the 45-yard line, down to the 42-yard line. 8-yard pickup on 2nd and 8.
You know what they did there? They stretched out that defense. They only had one guy in the backfield. That was Hill. And they had the other guys stretched out so that the linebackers and those safeties can't come up there and make a 9-man front. They at least have to go out on those receivers.
This is going to be close enough to measure again. The offensive line, ever since the opening series, has played much better, and they're just wearing down the Chargers now.
That's a good plan when you stretch out that defense, because they know you're going to run. But what it does, it opens up the areas, the holes down there. And for a guy like Hill, who is a guy that ran a lot of I formations when he was in college, giving him the ball and picking his spot.
Chris Mims has had a big day for the San Diego defense. A couple sacks.
First down.
First down for the Chiefs, but
now the main concern right now should be hold on to the football.
How about the numbers for the Chiefs running backs?
Well, Allen, 17 carries. That's a lot for him. 85 yards. Hill, 11 carries, 59 yards. Kimball Anders, 3 carries for 26 yards.
16 first downs now for the Kansas City Chiefs. 6:29 left to go in the game.
So now they say it's not a first down.
Oh, it's not a first down.
They changed his mind. He changed his mind.
I've never seen that. They've had to change there. It's either in or out.
The referee appointed first down, and then they came back and said, no, it really isn't. I was only kidding.
Inches. On third down and inches for the Chiefs. Football at the Charger 43-yard line. Bono, hard count, gives it off to Tony Richardson. And for Tony Richardson, he's got the first down and only his 7th carry of the season. Usually a blocker. It moves up inside. First down at the 39 of San Diego.
Turns out that's a better deal because now it's first down and time has been run off the clock. So we got 5:55 remaining in the game.
19
so the offense will just take their good old time getting up to the line of scrimmage and snap the ball with maybe 2 or 3 seconds remaining on the 25-second clock.
Tony Richardson getting high fives from the sideline.
Particularly the defense. They don't want to go back out there.
Single back, Greg Hill. Anders coming in motion between the tackles. Sweep play, right side goes to Hill, again at the 35-yard line. It moves up the right sideline, 30-25, forced out of bounds at the 22-yard line of San Diego. How about Greg Hill? 15-yard pickup, his best effort maybe of his young NFL career.
Looked like he put it into another gear, didn't he? He turned in that corner when he saw that he could get upfield. He really flew down the field. The problem is they're getting first downs on one play.
No measurement this time. Dwayne Harper forced him out of bounds.
But the main concern now, don't turn the ball over. That's the only way San Diego would have any chance whatsoever is if they turn the ball over.
Chiefs lead the AFC in rushing for the season. They have 163 yards today in running the football. 5 minutes left to go in the game. Counterplay up the middle. Greg Hill got met by Sean Lee, who put his shoulder pads into the stomach of Hill and knocks him down for a loss. Back to the 25, loss of 3.
Yes, he should have followed Kimball Anders. Kimball was a little wider than that. Maybe he didn't have a chance, but there's the penetration that you want to try to avoid by the defensive line of the San Diego Chargers.
Kimball wiggling his index finger toward him, going, follow me.
Yes, I'm 38, follow me. I'm the main guy that's going to block at the point of attack.
Sean Lee with a big play for the Chargers. Second down and 11. They're going to say it's just a loss of 1. So the football at the 23-yard line of San Diego. The Chiefs lead 19-7 and threatening again. Split backs, tight end right. Bono back in the pocket, sets up, looking left, dumps it off. Good low throw at the 20-yard line, complete. Leroy Thompson hauls in his 8th reception of the season in front of Lewis Bush, and a good low throw by Bono to prevent an interception.
Yeah, and Hill went out for that play, but I see that Greg Hill is coming back in the ball game. Timeout for the San Diego Chargers.
America's favorite sport.
The Kansas City's favorite store, the Joe Store Company.
Back at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. 4:14 left to go in the game. The Chiefs lead the Chargers 19-7. By the way, San Francisco burying Dallas 38-13 in the fourth quarter.
Ooh. Whoa. I know that could happen. All the guys that San Francisco's had injured, the key people.
2 receivers to the right side, offset eye. Greg Hill's going to get it on the lead play. Right side follows Anders' block this time. He's up to the 16-yard line, again of 3 yards. On 3rd and 7, but now the Chiefs have a chance for a very important field.
There, that would seal the game. It would seal the game. 4 minutes remaining here. San Diego taking another timeout. I think they have 1 left.
And with 4:02 left to go in the game, there's no better thing than warning.
Third game.
Let's hope this one is not.
Oh, please.
35-yard field goal by Lynn Elliott. He's had 2 today, 47 and 49. This one is much shorter. 35-yarder, and for Lynn Elliott, it would be his 15th field goal of the season. His kick is up, and the kick is good. He hammered it. A hat trick for Lynn Elliott. As Will Shields pulls off his hat, swings his arms in. That might be the deal. 22-7, Kansas City leads the...
No, I certainly don't, Leonard.
And
except when we were up there that one time and beat them and went to the first Super Bowl.
That's right.
At the Rock Pile.
Yeah.
Kicked by Lynn Elliott away, 22-7 Chiefs. Landry Coleman lets the ball bounce, and it goes into the end zone. He'll have to go to a knee. It comes out to the 20-yard line. Coleman has been neutralized today. The Chiefs have had a big play defense.
What a kick that was, because he was angling it to that corner over there, and Coleman was hoping that it would go out of bounds before it got to the end zone, but it didn't. It skipped forward.
Perfecto. Comes out to the 20-yard line. 3:50 left to go in the game. 22-7. Kansas City leads the San Diego Chargers.
Interception time now, Mitch. Interception time.
Humphreys has thrown 9 this season. Chiefs 6 defensive backs. Ronnie Harmon, the lone setback. Lines up behind the right tackle, Von Parker. Humphreys the throw. Sideline pattern. Finds Ronnie Harmon out of bounds at the 30-yard line. A gain of 10 yards and out of bounds to stop the clock at 3:44 left to go in the game. Gain of 11.
Got to take the sideline away from them. Make them catch the ball in the middle. Because therefore, when you tackle them, the clock is not stopped. And you also, when you're ahead by 15 points, you can afford to blitz every once in a while. You don't always have to get back here with 6, 7 people deep.
Papunu lines up in the backfield as an H-back. Begin behind the right tackle, Parker. 4 wide receivers for Humphreys. 3 to the left side. Here comes the Chiefs on the rush. Humphreys eludes 2, throws it downfield, throws it short in the dirt at the 44-yard line. Bayless, White, Anthony Davis covering the pass intended for Ronnie Harmon.
All right, you got Humphreys 14 to 29 for 172 yards. That time, Neil Smith and Joe Phillips really back in the face of Stan Humphreys and flushed him out of the pocket.
Now it is 2nd and 10. Clock stopped after the incompletion at 3:38 left to go in the game. The Chargers have just 1 timeout remaining. The Chiefs lead 22-7. Humphreys, this time right back in the middle of the pocket. Looks over the middle, finds Papunu, his first catch of the day. Goes down immediately. Good open field hit by Martin Bayless. Again at just 5. Clock moving. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Chiefs Fox Football Radio Network.
101 KCFX, Harrisonville, Kansas City. Your radio home of the Chiefs and classic rock and roll of the 70s.
On a quick slant, Mark Say's got a first down for San Diego, a gain of 7 yards, and San Diego going without a huddle.
And Neil Smith taking his good old time getting back there.
Snap back to Humphreys. Looking left all the way, finds Papunu. Stays in bounds, sheds the tackle of Bayless. 50-yard line, and knocked out of bounds by Brian Washington at the 45 of Kansas City. 2:55 left in the game. 22-7 Chiefs, gain of 11.
Martin Bayless slapping himself on the headgear, knowing that he needed to make that tackle to keep him in bounds so that clock would continue to go. But Papuno's a big guy. He's, about 260 or so he's not easy to bring down, 265.
He was waived by the Chiefs in 1992. Alfred Papunu was. 1 back, Fletcher to the left side. Back to throw is Humphreys. Sets up in the pocket. He's going to throw it long. A wobbly pass that is going to be incomplete. Nearly intercepted. That pass might have been touched and flicked as the pass was intended for Sean Jefferson. It looked like a pheasant.
Looked like one of Elway's tosses when the ball was wet here a few weeks ago.
Ducks Unlimited again. 2:48 left to go in the game. Clock stopped with the incompletion.
Once again, he's rolling out to the right, trying to get away from that hard rush for Kansas City. But Kansas City, you see back there, they got 2 deep backs back there. The safeties are playing deep in the middle. Then the cornerbacks are up in the faces of the wide receivers, trying to jam them at the line of scrimmage.
Ronnie Harmon, lone setback. Mark Say in motion. Behind Humphreys, the quarterback. This time on a deep drop, has time, rifles a pass that's dropped by Tony Martin at the 32.
Ooh-hoo.
Tony Martin, who has spent much of the year as the AFC's top receiver statistically, drops one.
Ooh, what am I hearing here? What am I hearing? I go back, remember Lake Dawson, the catch that he made down there on the goal line?
Yep.
Tough catch inside. I know he's going to get whacked. I think that's what people are expressing right here. They went right through his hands. He's got to make those catches.
Bobby Ross just turning, looking at the ground. This team has really struggled this year after having the great season last year, winning the AFC Championship. Harmon the lone setback. Humphreys to throw. Here comes Neil Smith. Humphreys throwing down the left sideline. The pass thrown up and incomplete. Overthrowing Andre Coleman with Stan Humphreys. Darren Anderson was covering for the Chiefs, also helping out Brian Washington. Clock stopped. 4th down now for the Chargers. 2:37 left to go in the game.
All right, 4th down now. He's not going to throw another pass like that. He's got to throw a possession type of pass where they at least get enough for the first down. Otherwise, they can kiss it goodbye. So I would look for something maybe in the middle area.
Chiefs again, 6 defensive backs. And on 4th down and 10, Humphreys looks over the middle. Throwing to the near side. Flag is thrown. The pass is incomplete. The Chiefs hold on downs, and you can shut the file on this one. Isaac Davis was holding on the play. The Chiefs will decline and take over on downs. Big bull rush by Dan Saliamua.
I say once again, what a great season Dan is having.
Yes, sir.
Those other guys, because with him, putting pressure on the quarterback up the middle, it frees Neil Smith a lot of the times with just one-on-one blocking. But
Joe Phillips has done the same thing.
I was just going to say, they never really get the credit they deserve. I mean, they're down there getting beat on from all directions by the center, the guards, the tackles. Do a terrific job.
What a great point. And for the Chargers, when David Griggs was tragically killed in an automobile accident in the offseason, it kind of just started the tone for this year. They had a preseason game called off at Houston. Bobby Ross was ill at the beginning of the season. They've had injuries, and it's come unraveled on San Diego, and they can kiss the playoff hopes goodbye with this loss today.
This is the time of the game they used to put me in.
Well, get in there, Billy.
Grigsby in the game now. Handoff to Bill Grigsby, alias Greg Hill. He's up to the 47-yard line.
Well, I thought we were going to one knee. I don't like to get hurt.
Too much time.
2 minute warning you.
Huh? 2:20 left to go.
Well,
in this game.
the game's over. You know, let the clock run. That's what we used to do. And if the game was out of control, when I was in the official, we just let the clock run, fellas.
Those guys out there, did they go to your school of officiating?
Yeah, they
your
should.
Help. They need your help.
I never made a mistake in 20 years of officiating, but I saw them miss a fumble in this game earlier.
Yeah. Well, you never made a mistake, period.
2 minute warning.
Wait a minute.
2 minute warning. The Chiefs are in control. Sonic drive in for a change. This one's over. One timeout remaining for the Chargers. The Chiefs have an offset I formation. Grigsby in the backfield. Grigsby's going to get it. That's Hill.
Grigsby's going to get loose.
Yeah, he almost did up to the 50-yard line. It was Greg Hill. If it would have been Grigsby, he'd have been all the way to a touchdown. In a 3-yard.
In my wildest dreams, it would have.
Nice going.
I started out my day right, Mitch, by brushing my teeth with muscle rub. At 5:30 this morning, I grabbed the wrong tube. That's why it's to serve a muscle relaxer. Relax my gums today. Oh, and I still taste it.
Only the Griggs.
It'll never sell. And I was stone sober, baby. It was at 5:30 this morning.
Oh, man.
Got up too early.
And what'd you floss with then? 3rd down and 5. Handoff field, tackled for a loss of 2. And the Chiefs now, record in the AFC West. Total record in the AFC West are 5-0 in the division. They're also 5-0 at home, but in the division, only the Raiders and Chiefs are undefeated at home. But the Kansas City Chiefs will be 5-0 in the AFC West.
Well, I'll tell you, enviable position. 9-1.
And the Chargers know what this is like. They were here a year ago.
The Chargers, at one year, they were 8-1, I think. That was with the replacement teams when they played back in, I think, 87 or whenever it was.
Is that when Al Saunders was coaching them?
Yes, yeah.
Dallas loses today. We are the best.
38-20. That score, nothing is surprising me anymore in this league.
It shows you one thing, too, that how important that quarterback position is. That Young gets hurt, and they go out and they lose to an expansion team, of all people. Now Aikman is hurt in this ball game. He's out.
Wilson was hurt for a while. Garrett came in, the emergency guy.
Wonder if they can keep Aikman out for 2 more weeks.
He's a pretty tough guy, too.
Yeah, I know.
Chiefs have to punt. It's 4th down and 6. 1:07 left to go in the game. Football at the 49-yard line. The Chiefs own 49. 22-7 Kansas City.
They got to go after it, try to block it.
Oh, well.
Flag thrown.
Yeah.
It was
Dale Carter. Not having a good day with penalties.
He's not focused.
Yeah. Just looking at the ball.
Marty just grabbed him and said, "I'll leave when I tell you, okay?"
You know what they really ought to do at this stage? The punter should run around for 1 minute and 7 seconds.
Yeah, there you go.
Just hold the ball.
Just back and forth.
Yeah.
Shades of the 1969 season. Guys like Otis Taylor.
Leonard Dawson. Ed Buddy.
Keep going.
Oh, God. There's so many great, beautiful guys on that team.
4th down and 11. There's some beautiful guys on this 95 Chiefs team. Doug Terry was injured early. He's out there now. He's the wing blocker on the punt team. Here come the Chargers in a hurry. Aguiar gets the kick away. Got blasted as he got the kick away. No flag. Coleman fumbles the ball. Fumbles it at the 11-yard line. Picked up by one of his teammates, Mark Montroy, who goes down at the 10-yard line. So San Diego's 90 yards from the end zone. They have no timeouts remaining. 57 seconds left, but even most importantly, the Chiefs lead 22-7. 41-yard punt, -2 on the return.
Aguiar's been taking some lessons at King Arthur's Night School in acting.
Yeah, the referee
they have a lot of free time, see, those kickers.
Right now here in San Diego, it's just like feeding oats to a dead horse.
Feeding oats to a dead horse?
Hello? Haven't done that.
Well, I've done it a little bit.
Humphreys will throw from his own 1. Delay pattern over the middle. Ronnie Harmon puts a juke move on Bayless. Moves to the left, trying to get to the sideline. Tackle of the 19 inbounds. Gain of 9. Clock continues to move, and San Diego can't stop the clock. What a day for Kansas City. What a season for Kansas City.
The only thing that would have been sweeter is if the Giants would have held on and beat the Raiders.
2nd down and 1. Humphreys to throw. Over the middle finds Papunu. Tackled by Bayless. Clock continues to move, and the Chargers cannot stop the clock. San Diego trying to line up quickly. The men in the chain gang trying to line up. College ball, they stop the clock to move the chains, but not in this league. 15 seconds left to go. Humphreys probably spiked the ball here. Does so he can stop the clock and get a snap. 11 seconds left to go in the game.
Well, he's got to air it out. Throw it down there as far as he can. I wouldn't be surprised to see 3 receivers on one side or the other. Just throw that ball up for grabs.
I mentioned Stan Humphreys has won 70% of his games as a starter in this league. This season has to eat him up. He is so competitive and so tough. But the Chiefs today just took this game away from the Chargers. Chiefs made big plays on both sides of the ball. Back to throw is Humphreys. Sets up, throws downfield, finds on a deep curl route. He finds Tony Martin. That's going to be the game. Tackled by Dale Carter. This game is over. The Chiefs are 5-0 in the division. They are 9-1 on the season. And get this, at 4:15 Pacific Standard Time on November 12th, 1995, the Chiefs have the best record in the National Football League and the best record since the World Championship season of 1969 by virtue of its 22-7 victory over the San Diego Chargers.
Hallelujah and amen, brother.
And you look at that watch, it says Copper Bowl on it.
Yeah,
that's a nice watch. Nice watch.
22-7, the Chiefs beat the Chargers. The postgame with Bill Grigsby and Len Dawson is yours after this. You're listening to Chiefs football.
Fuzzy South, the place to party and take part in Fox Fan Talk after every Chiefs away game with Gordon Docking and Ken Fuzzy Kramer. Be there, Fuzzy South, 103rd and State Line, for your chance to talk about the game.